from the Davenport Fire Station. I'm now coming
in weather conditions. Starting off on Highway 17, things looking relatively good, certainly between Los Gatos and Santa Cruz. Nothing major to report there. Near the 85 connector is a little slow moving, but that's what you would expect for this time of day. Southbound 1 from Santa Cruz into Aptos, 10 miles per hour top speed. Over in Monterey County, northbound 1, same thing as you're heading into Sand City, top speed 10 miles per hour. Near Carpenter Street. Both directions stop and go. Highway 1, that is near Carmel. And driving through Coyote Valley, southbound 1, 10 miles per hour. Moss Landing, traffic slow moving as you approach the harbor in either direction. 475-1080, tonight's weather forecast, mostly clear. Low should be around 53 degrees. Tomorrow, sunny. Highs will be in the mid to upper 60s. Flight 1080, back after this.
Hey, Patricia. I heard you were setting up a new home office.
Yeah, Sam, I've been staring at this Home Office for Dummies book for hours, and I still can't figure out the difference between a LAN and a WAN.
We'll call User-Friendly Computing. They can help you set up an internal home network.
But what about my wireless printer?
What about it? They have all the answers to your network, workstation, or internet problems. They even provide outsourced IT for businesses big or small.
User-Friendly Computing provides 9653. That's 831-423-9653.
Ranger Station, Ranger speaking.
Hi. I'd like to report a bear hug.
Okay.
Well, before I left my campsite, I was putting out my fire, and out of nowhere, Smokey Bear showed up and hugged me?
So you drowned the fire, you stirred it, drowned it again, and felt that it was cold?
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. He likes it when people correctly put out their campfires. He's pretty big on wildfire prevention. He's just letting you know you did good with a hug. He's a hugger.
I just got a bear hug from Smokey Bear. Status update!
All right, I'm gonna let you go now. I've got a lot of ranger stuff to do. There are many ways to start a fire, but one sure way to put it out. Learn how you can do your part at SmokeyBear.com.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service, Ad Council, and your state forester.
Recently on Good Morning Monterey Bay.
Okay, looking for a new job? Well, there is...
You know something I don't know?
No.
Oh, okay.
The top 10 jobs of 2017, neither one of us could do them, Billy.
Oh, really?
Yep. Starting at number 10.
Well, that's comforting.
A quality engineer at 71 grand.
I could do quality engineering. Sure I could.
Yeah, right. Salesforce developer at 108 grand. An IT engineer at number 5 for 85 grand. A Salesforce administrator at 89 grand. Development operations engineer at 123. A data scientist at number 2 is at 129 grand. And number 1 is a full stack developer.
I don't even know what that is.
I have a full stack, but they're not paying me 110 grand.
Don't miss Good Morning Monterey Bay, weekdays 6 to 9 a.m. on KSCO. And listen anytime on the KSCO mobile app.
You're listening to KSCO, serving Santa Cruz, Pebble Beach, and Penoche.
479-1080. You're listening to Flight 1080 KSCO Santa Cruz. The magic number today. Two magic numbers. 1080 as in 479-1080. That's the number to get on board. The other magic number is 757. $7.57, Ben. That's what I'm talking about. All you can eat pizza, all you can eat salad. Mountain Mike's Pizza right here on Portola Drive. 3715 Portola Drive is their address. 477-7760 is their phone number. 479-1080. Let's see. Okay, African Black Student Alliance. These are the guys, Ben, I guess, that have taken over Kerr Hall.
Mm-hmm.
Is that okay? And their supporters, people who support their cause, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I would hope they support the cause. Otherwise, they're just sort of, risking their necks for, I don't know why.
Right, and they don't know why either if they don't know that these are the demands. Okay, so number one, we demand the university purchase a property located at or near the base of the campus to serve as low-income housing. They also want to run that, but that's what they want. They want low-income housing built at the bottom of the campus.
That sounds like a good idea, and
sure.
As long as it's student-run, I think that could help guarantee that it remains affordable.
What happened to the Rosa Parks? Does anybody out there know? Because they are demanding that the Rosa Parks building or the Rosa Parks house, I'm sorry, I don't know the correct title of it, be returned to the students. Returned to the students, meaning or implying that it was taken away from them.
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody know how that happened or what they're talking about?
Yeah, I don't
Give us a
know
call,
the
479-1080.
details about the Rosa Park house.
Right. But that could be one way to make sure that the housing stays there and remains affordable.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, demand number two. Similar to EOP students and international students' housing guarantees, we demand that all African Black...
What's EOP?
I don't know.
I'll look it up.
EOP, okay, good. And international students' housing guarantees. Similar to their housing guarantees, we demand that all African Black Caribbean identified students have a 4-year housing guarantee to live in the Rosa Parks African American themed house, guaranteeing this would provide a viable living option to all ABC identified students regardless of housing status and college affiliation. Regardless of college affiliation.
Would that house be big enough for all the African American students?
I don't know. We demand a written agreement by the opening of housing applications in April of 2017. We demand a written agreement by the opening of housing applications in April of 2017. April, didn't that just pass? Right?
Yeah.
Well, okay. 479-1080. Let's see if we can get some help on this. Anybody knows the history of the Rosa Parks house and why it was apparently taken away or why it needs to be returned to the students?
They really want something by April 2017?
That's what it says here. And, yeah.
That can't be right.
We demand a written agreement by the opening of housing applications in April 2017. Unless I'm reading that wrong.
Do they also want a time machine?
I don't know. Number three, we demand the university remove the beds and release the Rosa Parks African-themed house lounge so it can serve its original purpose. We demand the lounge be returned by fall 2017. Okay, we need to Google this. The end of Rosa Parks house.
Don't they want that house for student housing, but then they also want the beds removed? That doesn't make sense. Are the Rosa Parks house and the Rosa Parks lounge two different things?
I don't know. I'm going to have to Google this. Andy is calling from UCSC. If you have any questions or any comments, give us a call at 479-1080. So I'm going to go to Andy's call, and then we'll do some research, and we'll bring it up. Rosa Parks African-themed house lounge. That's it. Rosa Parks African-themed house lounge. Day 2, the siege at Kerr Hall. Can we call it that, Ben? Can we come up with something dramatic?
We're news people.
Oh, let me see if I can find this here. YouTube. Let me see.
Some exciting music.
Yeah, I think I got some good. How about this one? Let's try this. No, that's not exciting. No, that's not exciting. These are not the ones.
It's kind of exciting, but.
Yeah, no, that's not going to work. Andy, calling from UCSC, you're in the air.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. I'm actually calling from Santa Cruz, not UCSC.
Okay.
My apologies for the confusion there. Anyways, I just called with a comment. I don't know anything about that Rosa Parks house, but I think the idea of affordable student housing is really a great idea, especially in Santa Cruz. What's odd to me is that you have black students or a black group saying, give us low-income housing. I don't understand why there's this sense of entitlement to low-income housing just because you're black. How about everyone's having a tough time finding housing at school? I mean, I think anybody that's gone to college knows that it's not cheap, and it's a choice to go there, and it's a choice to better yourself. Why would you want to try to better yourself and then demand low-income housing? Just my thoughts.
All right, Andy, thank you for your call, 47910. You know, and that's what I was wondering too, Ben, because they mentioned there was a weird qualifier in there. What was it, for all historically
Yes.
oppressed? What was it? Historically disadvantaged people? Where's that?
Well, yeah, and I think that is a group that the African American students would fall under. I mean, African Americans in this country have been historically oppressed.
Right. So that would mean it would be for minorities. But what about white people? I mean, white people are not having a tough time paying bills. There's no poor white kids out there.
Yeah, I would hope that.
I think, if I'm correct, isn't most of the nation, most of the poor people in America white?
I couldn't tell you that for sure, actually.
I think so. I mean, I don't know. I usually don't just make things up unless I'm trying to impress the women. Then I make things up all the time. And I got I might not have the hair on my back, on my head. I blew it. I blew that joke. Forget it. 479-1080. Day 2, the siege at Kerr Hall. No, that's not it either. Darn it! I had some really dramatic stinger music, they call it, to go into a topic, really heavy stuff, but I can't get it working. 479-1080. 218-5726. The Dave Cave is closing. If you want to order your longevity products, 30% discount, and have them delivered to your house, call that number. You know, Ben, I was talking with one of our customers, longevity customers, and he works with his hands a lot, and boy, his hands were just about useless. I don't know if they're useless, but they're really hurting him.
Good if he works with them a lot.
I know, right? And it's not just people who use their hands for a professional, but there's a lot of people out there. Once you get up there in the years, your hands start to hurt. Things start to hurt, right? So he doubles up on the glucogel. His hands feel like new again.
Really?
Yes, dude. And glucogel is part of the the bone and joint pack. If you're already on the Healthy Start pack, the next item I recommend is a glucogel, because I hear that a million times a day. 218-5726 to hear more about how we can help you.
So I've been using the glucogel to style my hair. I've been doing it wrong then.
You've been doing it wrong, yes. And that's pretty weird because they're capsules. They are. Putting them in your hair. Yeah. Maybe you should mix them with water first, Ben. Maybe.
That would work better.
Try it. 479-1080. Let's see who's up next. It is Jim in Pacific Grove. You're in the air.
Actually, that's Tim, but that's all right.
All right, Tim.
Listen, I was looking through some travel information the other day because I'm going to Berlin in a couple weeks, and I saw that they have the Rosa Parks house in Berlin.
Really?
And there's an organization that dismantled it from where it was, and I can't remember where that was, and they took it to Berlin and rebuilt it there, and it's like an attraction. You can go see it. And they are actually hoping that they can bring it back to the United States and rebuild it for a worthy cause. So these guys may be in luck.
Really?
What? Yeah, check it out. I just read about it the other day, and it was actually on a Berlin tourist site that I saw it. So it wasn't like on a news item.
So Berlin took a house from the U.S. and now these UCSC students want to bring that house back to the U.S.?
Right, and they maybe just have heard the same thing I did, and are bidding for saying, hey, we might be a worthy cause for it. I'm not sure, but that's all I know at this point.
Huh, all right.
Sounds pretty wild.
I am checking on that right now. That does sound pretty wild, Tim. Thank you for your call.
That's quite a demand from those
479-1080, yes.
UCSC students. They want us to take a house back from Germany?
Let's see here. I found an article here. This is from the New York Times. Saved from demolition, Rosa Parks' house gets a second life. This was written May 2017. So that's May 2nd. That was yesterday.
Well, if they
uprooted
uprooted
Berlin,
the house
dude.
and moved it to Germany, isn't that sort of like demolishing it, I guess?
This is from Berlin. That can't be Berlin, like the German Berlin, or is this like Berlin, like next to Chicago, a suburb of Chicago? What is this?
I don't know.
Montgomery. what the heck's going on here?
Well, that complicated things.
Yeah.
There's an article that's under University of California, Santa Cruz Housing that says Rosa Parks African American Theme House, Our Path. Rosa Parks African American Theme House is a student-initiated themed living option for all students whose interest spans historical, present day, and future experiences of predominantly Black or African American peoples. It fosters cultural competency, cultural intelligence, and allied developments through organizing, living, studying, and socializing with peers passionate about political, cultural, popular, social, and economic issues of the African diaspora, and it's located at Stevenson College.
Well, I'm glad you read that because I would have messed up that word diaspora because I'm hungry.
Diaspora.
Oh, okay. So, see, it's because I'm hungry. Had I read it, I would have got it. Had I eaten first. I did order that thing from our good friends over at Mountain Mike's.
Who's picking it up?
Nose goes.
That's problem B.
No, that's the biggest
one step
problem.
at a time. It's one step at a time. Number one, we got the order done. So
Yeah,
it's
order's
477.
good. What's next?
477-7760. Next, we will head down there and pick it up.
Who?
One of us.
Okay.
Well, we'll draw straws.
I
479.
think we should draw pizza slices.
479-1080. We gotta get there first.
Oh.
See who's up
yeah.
next.
Okay.
Steve calling from SoCal. You're in the air.
Yeah, these guys have such a trouble with housing. Why don't they just enroll like in Monterey? The housing down there might be a little more reasonable. Or what's that one over in the valley, Merced or Modesto? It's like they're there to study. They're not there to party. So, well, ideally they should be studying and get out of the way and go get a job and, start supporting the rest of the new students that come in and pay taxes to support them and all the instructors. So,
All right.
They just got too much time on their hands to bitch about stuff.
Oh. Thank you for your call, Steve. That's enough of that. I don't know, Ben. That's kind of a jerk way to put it, or maybe an abrasive way to put it, or maybe I'm just taking it in a jerky kind of way.
Well, I definitely don't think these kids are partying, but
right. But I think the point that caught my ears went perked up, was when he said, they should go move to Merced or blah 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 or UC or Monterey Bay, and I was thinking, he was talking about the students should move down there for housing and then come up here to UCSC. But I think what he was saying is students should maybe go to school where they're from, but that's not always doable, is it?
Well, I think
because that would definitely cut down on the housing issue in most campuses, wouldn't it? If you just took students from those areas that were already living in those areas.
I don't think that'll ever really happen.
Right, right. But if you had this magic wand, that would be ideal.
What he was suggesting was that, well, no, because we've taken students from other states and international students and students from all over the country now.
But if they all stayed in their own neighborhood, we wouldn't have a housing problem at most campuses, right?
But not all of them have colleges in their neighborhoods, unfortunately.
I know, it's not doable.
And some of them don't have top-notch colleges in their neighborhoods.
That's the bigger problem.
And they are top-notch students who deserve to go to the best
That's
colleges.
the bigger problem.
I think what that caller was suggesting was that these students go to college where there is affordable housing. Which,
does that matter?
That's not an unreasonable expectation, or
So that's part of college
but,
now. The part of the college decision is paying for the housing around there.
Well, yeah, you have to go to college where you can afford it, right? Unless you can get financial aid or a student loan. How else are you going to pay for college? As part of college is taking on financial responsibility. I would say that it's partly the obligation of the school, though, to provide affordable housing for the students. I think that most colleges have failed in that regard.
479-1080. Let's get to the phone lines again. It is Judith calling from Santa Cruz. You're in the air.
Hi, thank you for taking my call. It's been occurring to me that there was just that one story about Napolitano embezzling. Was it $175 billion from the university?
No, million.
Was it $1 million?
Yeah.
Has there been any more follow-up? And
yeah.
I would think that these students would be, marching in mass against that and saying, what's up, and, lower the tuition and, but demanding something. I wonder if they had it before and they gave it up. So when you investigate, you'll find out more, because it seems like pretty demanding stuff like that isn't really not good role modeling. But, you should ask first nicely, right? But maybe they did before. Thanks a lot.
All right, Judith. Thank you for your call.
No, that's definitely a good point. I wonder if the students couldn't have accomplished these goals through student government. That's always an option before you go and stage some sort of protests like this. About Janet Napolitano, I think that's another good point. I mean, the $175 million her office was sitting, that could probably cover the expenses of the Rosa Parks house.
Yeah, no kidding.
And I saw some headline about the Janet Napolitano thing. I mean, basically, she's being grilled by lawmakers right now over the audit that revealed
right.
How much money she was sitting on.
I'm still trying to find out why they want the house returned to students, implying that it was taken away from them.
I really don't think that it's a house in Berlin that they're after. That doesn't make any sense.
No. They're talking about a building that's already on campus that has been taken over and repurposed for some reason. They want that building to be returned to student use, and they want the building of another structure that can be used for low-income housing for students. That's two things they want, right? And both of them translate into more housing for students. They both do.
And I think that's a pretty real concern.
Sure, yeah, absolutely, dude, absolutely. And you know what? If they want to act like a bunch of animals and act like a bunch of
well, they're not acting like animals.
Right, they're not. No, they're not actually. They're not. But even if they did, and they wanted to just act a fool, I'm not so sure that I would blame them. I mean, what the hell do you do? What are these guys supposed to do? Are they supposed to go and live in a car? Are they supposed to go and live in a tent? Is that what you're supposed to do? I mean, I understand that you're supposed to make sacrifices to get an education. Everybody understands that, but come on, man.
Well, I think you're supposed to try and change things by doing it through student government. I mean, get elected, get some power within the college, and then make these changes. Obviously, I hope that they tried to do that at least.
479-1080, 218-5726. They should get the hell out of there. They're not students. They are criminals. It's 218-5726 with your text messages, and I'll read them without even thinking. I'll just read them and say, oops.
Yeah, we have a dump button, so he can do that.
Yes. All right, let's head out to the phone lines. It is Mike calling from Watsonville. You're in the air.
Hey, one of your coworkers there read that whole diatribe of the African this, African that, and they want the African flag. The last time I thought this was not Africa. And they kind of kill it because affordable housing is one thing, and that might be a good thing to gripe about. But when you want to just play their identity politics, I say, hey, if you don't like it and you want so much to go and identify with Africa, go to Africa.
Thank you for your call, Mike. 479-1080.
Yeah, I mean,
are they saying that this can only be used for blacks? I mean, they're not saying.
If that's what they're saying, then yeah, I would have a problem with that too. Because
let's see, similar to EOP students. Did we ever find out what EOP means? You know, I should get to the phone calls because we should. I have this printed. I can always read it here. And is this in the Santa Cruz Sentinel? Where did we get this at? Or where did we get this?
The list of demands.
City on a Hill Press. Oh, hey, this was from yesterday. I guess from UCSC. Students occupy main administrative building at UC Santa Cruz by Slugs in the Woods. If you just type that into your browser, Slugs in the Woods, Tuesday, May 2nd of 2017, you'll probably find this. Students say they will not leave until demands from the African Black Student Alliance are met. Let's get to line 2. Daniel is calling from Santa Cruz. You're in the air.
Hi there. Thanks for taking my call. I just want to point out, it seems like you guys aren't really helping. There's some misinformation. I can explain the Berlin House thing briefly. It's an artist trying to make the point that Americans don't understand or take care of these landmarks and culture when they have to do with African Americans. And so, you know, it's totally unrelated and separate, except for the point that this artist is trying to make by rebuilding it in Berlin. And then, you know, I had a cogent point to get to before that last caller throwing out identity politics and just this whole discussion. I just want to say, like, as white people with access to the airwaves, like, don't say that these people are acting like animals, even if you take it back. Don't say, yeah, what about white people flippantly? Don't play chase music to dramatize or minimize, actually, what these people are demanding. As someone who is tuning in and would like to get this story, you guys are doing a dramatic disservice in going on the air without doing your research. EOP is an educational outreach program. Yes, college students talk in acronyms and you know, academia jargon, but like do some homework and take this seriously, or talk about something else. You guys are doing your listeners a disservice.
Well, I disagree with you, Daniel, but thank you for your call. I disagree with you. I think how are we going to find out about it if we don't talk about it, Daniel? How is that going to happen? How are we going to discuss it if we don't talk about it?
read about it, get some of the.
This happened yesterday. This happened yesterday, and I know what, Daniel. I guarantee you that most of our listeners have no idea what this movement is about. They have no idea what this coalition is about.
And I'm not getting it from this radio program. I'm not hearing it. I'm hearing ignorant voices.
Well, maybe you're not listening hard enough, Daniel. Thank you for your call, 479-1080. Maybe you should clean out your ears too. Thank you for your call, though. 479-1080. DM at KSCO.com. 218-5726. Give us a call. Send an email. Interact with us. Facebook and Twitter.
How many goats do you have left now?
I don't know. I didn't get my goat, dude. I didn't get my goat. 479-1080. DM at KSCO.com. Give us a call.
Lamb, maybe.
And we'll talk about it. We got more demands here. We'll read them out here. And how's that doing a disservice, Daniel? He's just not listening. He just hears what he wants, and that's okay. 479-1080. CBS News up next.
CBS News, I'm Pam Coulter. Confident they now have the votes to prevail, Republicans have scheduled a vote on the revised Obamacare repeal bill tomorrow. A day after saying he couldn't vote for the measure, Michigan Republican Fred Upton is now on board after securing $8 billion to help cover people with pre-existing conditions.
Based on our discussions and the agreement on this amendment, can now be in a place where I can support the bill with such amendment.
Upton's one of several moderate lawmakers who met with President Trump today. Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer still thinks the bill will go nowhere.
The Upton amendment is like administering cough syrup to someone who has stage 4 cancer. It's just not going to do any good.
FBI Director James Comey was grilled about his handling of sensitive investigations during a Senate hearing today. CBS's Steve Dorsey reports.
Lawmakers questioned whether FBI Director James Comey acted appropriately, publicly weighing in on Hillary Clinton's email investigation while staying quiet on its probe of Russia's influence on the Trump campaign. Comey says he had an obligation to alert Congress to new Clinton emails found on disgraced former Congressman Anthony Weiner's laptop just days before the election.
Look, this was terrible. It makes me mildly nauseous to think that we might have had some impact on the election, but honestly, it wouldn't change the decision.
Clinton blames Comey for costing her the election. Steve Dorsey, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Easily approving a $1.1 trillion spending bill, the House took the first step toward avoiding a government shutdown Friday. Speaker Paul Ryan.
Many of our priorities, not all, but many of our priorities are advanced in this, and that's because this is a bipartisan piece of legislation.
Democratic leader Nancy Pelosi is also happy with the bill.
We were so proud to secure more than $1 billion to deliver permanent health benefits to thousands of coal miners and their families who stood to lose their health benefits this month.
It now goes to the Senate, and the White House says the president will sign it. The Justice Department will not pursue civil rights charges against the 2 white Baton Rouge police officers who shot and killed an African American last summer. Acting U.S. Attorney Corey Amundson.
There simply is not sufficient evidence to proceed with a federal charge.
Alton Sterling's family is demanding justice. CBS News senior legal analyst Andrew Cohen.
If all politics are local, all police prosecutions are political, and this one surely would be. There are those demanding that the 2 cops be charged, even if they aren't ultimately convicted, and there are those demanding that prosecutors back away from this episode in acknowledgement of the sweeping protection that the police generally have in these sorts of cases.
Checking Wall Street, stocks were mixed today. The Dow rose 8 points to 20,957. NASDAQ fell 22. This is CBS News.
Imagine all the sleep you cost your mom through the years. As a crying baby, nightmares in grade school, and speaking of nightmares, let's not even talk about when you were a teenager. Hi, I'm Scott Tannen, founder of Boll & Branch, and I'm going to help you give your mom the gift she deserves. A great night's sleep with a set of Boll & Branch sheets. Our sheets are handcrafted from 100% organic cotton. The softest she'll ever feel, and they get softer over time. We only sell at bollandbranch.com, so you get twice the quality at half the price. No middleman markups. Everyone loves Boll & Branch, even 3 U.S. presidents. We guarantee she'll love them too. That's why your mom can try them risk-free for 30 nights. They arrive beautifully packaged in our signature gift box. No wrapping needed. Now through Mother's Day, we'll give you $50 off your first set of sheets when you go to bollandbranch.com and use promo code SLEEP. That's bollandbranch.com spelled B-O-L-L and branch.com. Promo code SLEEP. That's bollandbranch.com. Promo code SLEEP.
An Ohio State study looked into the decisions women make about breast reconstruction surgery.
It's a profound decision made by women under maximum stress. Should they have reconstructive surgery after losing a breast to breast cancer?
We concluded that the quality of this group's decisions was in fact limited.
Study author Clara Lee found just over half the women she studied had unrealistic ideas about the number of procedures, recovery time, risk of complications, and final results, suggesting many might opt for less or no surgical reconstruction if they had the full facts. Vicki Barker, CBS News.
A Pittsburgh businessman convicted on mortgage fraud charges will get a new trial. That's because his attorney fell asleep during the proceedings, and it was noticed by the judge, jurors, and witnesses. Attorney Stan Levinson admits he dozed off during the trial last fall, but says it was because he was taking cold medicine that made him drowsy. Pam Coulter, CBS News.
Imagine all the sleep you cost your mom through the years. As a crying baby, nightmares in grade school, and speaking of nightmares, let's not even talk about when you were a teenager. Hi, I'm Scott Tannen, founder of Boll & Branch, and I'm going to help you give your mom the gift she deserves, a great night's sleep with a set of Boll & Branch sheets. Our sheets are handcrafted from 100% organic cotton, the softest she'll ever feel, and they get softer over time. We only sell at bollandbranch.com, so you get twice the quality at half the price. No middleman markups. Everyone loves Boll & Branch, even 3 U.S. presidents. We guarantee she'll love them too. That's why your mom can try them risk-free for 30 nights. They arrive beautifully packaged in our signature gift box. No wrapping needed. Now through Mother's Day, we'll give you $50 off your first set of sheets when you go to bollandbranch.com and use promo code SLEEP. That's bollandbranch.com, spelled B-O-L-L, and branch.com. Promo code SLEEP. That's bollandbranch.com, promo code SLEEP.
Good afternoon, everyone. You're listening to AM 1080 KSCO, Santa Cruz, AM 1340 KOMY, La Selva Beach, Watsonville. The time is now 5:06, and we've got traffic and weather for you. We start off with traffic. Highway 17 southbound speeds near the Lexington Reservoir under the limit. Not by too much, though, but they are certainly under the limit. Speaking of that area, we got a call from one of our listeners saying to slow down because CHP is encouraging that people drive the speed limit by putting a speed trap out there. For your own safety, slow down as you drive by Lexington Reservoir. Southbound Highway 1 in Santa Cruz, stop and go. Speeds will stay slow moving into Aptos. Monterey into Seaside, 10 miles per hour, same thing as you head through Moss Landing. And 101 southbound through Coyote Valley, 10 miles per hour. Highway 129 remains closed near Rogie Lane. San Juan Road is the recommended alternative route. Your weather forecast for tonight is for mostly in Santa Cruz. Design it, copy it, print it, communicate it. To make it easier for you, the professionals at locally owned Alpha Graphics have moved to 105 Whispering Pines Drive in Scotts Valley. Lots of free parking and free delivery. Sell it with the help of Alpha Graphics. For more information, alphagraphicssantacruz.com. 70 degrees outside KSCO studios. The time now 5:08. Headlines are up next. Here's Susan Simon.
Thanks, Dave. A fire that broke out this morning in the San Bernardino oil fields has been contained to 6 acres. The cause of that blaze was a faulty electrical connection. The public is reminded to maintain a minimum 100 feet of defensible space around structures, as well as practicing exit drills at their homes. People are encouraged to go online to www.readyforwildfire.org for more information on how to prepare and prevent wildfires. Board members of the San Lorenzo Valley Water District met today to discuss the use of a product called Roundup on the Olympia watershed, or in the Olympia watershed, rather. Rick Moran, an Environmental Citizen Committee member, told KSCO. Let's see if we can get Rick Moran to tell us about that.
There's a couple of endangered species on the habitat site, so that adds a complication. But there hasn't been, to my satisfaction, a look at alternatives to the standard practice of restoration. It's really a restoration industry, and industry keeps on going back to saying they don't like Monsanto, but they keep on buying Monsanto's products to help do their restoration.
Reportedly, board members did not make a decision on this matter today, which means it's expected to be put back on the agenda at a later date. 9 juveniles have been brought back to Santa Cruz County Juvenile Court. That's because of the November approval of the Public Safety Act of 2016, which no longer allows juveniles to be charged in adult court. Court records in juvenile cases are not available to the public, but the hearings will continue to be open to the public. A man pleaded guilty to sexually molesting a young girl. 60-year-old Juan Mateo Salvador Rivera of Salinas admitted yesterday to 1 count of forcible child molest and 1 count of non-forcible child molest. Salvador Rivera is the victim's aunt's husband, and he's scheduled to be sentenced June 8th. He molested the girl 4 to 5 times over a several-year period, apparently, from about the time she was 7 years old. One of the co-authors of a new book called Santa Cruz's Seabright said a number of the people who worked on putting together the history of Seabright will be on hand at a book signing and book reading this afternoon. Local historian Tracy Bliss told KSCO that the event is scheduled to be held in a building that is more than 100 years old.
The wonderful part of the La Posta restaurant on Seabright Avenue is that it's one of the many examples of Seabright commitment to historic preservation. That building opened in 1907 as the Seabright Cash Store, and then the post office was added to it a few years later. And so the fact that it's been preserved, not entirely intact, but mostly intact, and that we can all go there and have a wonderful restaurant in a completely historic setting is very exciting.
The book contains many pictures and stories gathered from various people and organizations in the area. The event is slated to take place from now until 6 p.m. The public was invited to the grand opening today of the Santa Cruz County Sheriff's Office North Coast Services Center. That event was held this afternoon across the street from the Davenport Fire Station. Time now 11.5 minutes after 5 p.m. More local news for you coming up at the bottom of the hour. For KSCO, I'm Susan Simon.
Over 150 members of the Aptos community spoke out against the extension of Fire Chief John Jones' contract and requested his immediate resignation. Despite the overwhelming consensus that Chief Jones is not a good fit for the Aptos Fire Department, there continues to be no official response from the Board of Directors. On the next Our Local Radio Show, we will discuss with Aptos Fire Captain Ryan Peters the situation at Aptos La Selva Firefighters Local 3535, Wednesday, 7-8 p.m. on KSCO AM 1080, FM 104.1, and KSCO.com.
Adrian Gonzalez is joining us from De La Colmena. It's good to see you again.
Thanks for having us.
So what's going on new? What's happening at De La Colmena? What do you have to tell us?
Right now we're getting ready for the graduation season. We've got the rains are over, spring is out, the sun is out, everyone having their parties, and graduation just right around the corner.
So what kind of specialties are you guys offering for graduation?
Oh, we still have the same specials as all the time. You know, we had our carnitas, our chile verde, our carne asada, our tamales, enchiladas, a variety of items. We have
done the same way, right? Because you guys do it right the first time. So
right.
There's no reason to have some kind of fancy thing?
Not at all. We keep it old school. We have a great special going on. 1 pound of carnitas. You get 1 pound of carnitas, 1 pint of rice, 1 pint of beans, 6 ounces of salsa fresca, a package of tortillas for $12.99.
If somebody wanted to stop by De La Colmena,
take Highway 1 south and get off on Riverside. Go down Riverside and make a left on Walker, then make a right on Westlake Avenue.
Simple as that, huh?
Simple. 3 minutes from the freeway.
Yeah. That was Adrian Gonzalez. He is the owner of De La Colmena.
Yes.
Do you know what carnitas are?
Hi, Jacoby here, host of Raising the Standards, right here on KSCO Saturdays, 5 p.m. Tune in and join me, Rachel, my co-host, our buddy Rick, and some of the most interesting folks in the world as we chat and play the best music on the planet. Now remember, if at some point during the program you're not offended, well, you're just not listening. Raising the Standards, Saturdays here on KSCO.
Don't miss Raising the Standards with Mike Jacoby, Rick, and Rachel. Saturdays from 5 to 6 p.m.
You're listening to KSCO, serving Aromas, the Carmel Highlands, and Paraiso Springs.
479-1080-218-5726, DM at ksco.com. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter. You can interact that way too. Robert in Boulder Creek just texted me, says, just another protest that will be forgotten in a few months. I'm thinking there will be less protests if we just find a way to block all cell traffic and Wi-Fi in areas of protest. Or maybe, Ben, the protests will stop if we just ignore it and just don't talk about it because we don't know enough about it. And until we do find out about it, not talk about it. And then by that time, it'll be old news and then no one will care. Would that make that guy happy? 479-1080. And then another guy writes me, that guy pissed me off. And then another guy writes me and says, oh, EOP stands for evil, oppressive people. Well, you know what, Daniel? At my son's school, EOP stands for Equal Opportunity Program. What did he say it stands for, Ben? What did this elitist butthole tell me it stands for? Like, I'm supposed to know what it stands for at his school.
I think he said right? Equal Opportunity Program.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what it said. Is that what he said?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay. Well, then I take some of that back.
Oh, yeah, well, I guess maybe he's talking about the Educational Opportunity Program.
Yeah, I think that's what he said, yeah. Now, you see what I'm saying? But what the hell does it stand for? Oh, it stands for this. A jerk. 479-1080.
Weren't you saying they didn't get your goat?
Oh, he didn't get my goat. He just made me mad. Getting my goat, that's getting my goat.
Okay.
No, this guy didn't get me. No, he just made me mad.
Wait, so really quick, can we go back to that text message you just read?
Yes. Which
the
one?
Guy suggesting we cut off cell service and internet access to
he said
who?
I was blinded with rage. I don't know. See, he says, just another protest will be forgotten in a few months. I'm thinking there will be less protests if we just find a way to block all cell traffic and Wi-Fi in an area of protests.
That doesn't terrify you?
I was blinded with rage.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. And again, this is I don't know. That doesn't terrify me as much as blocking access of the media. News crews should still be allowed to go up there, but social media.
But how could you access the media if you have your Wi-Fi or your cell service blocked?
No, I'm talking about news crews. News crews can go up there, reporters, old school. They've been doing that for years before the internet was around. They were doing that.
If there's a protest at Berkeley, we should cut off cell service in Berkeley? What if there's emergencies?
Yeah.
I mean, that's
right.
wildly irresponsible.
Okay, Ben. Okay, now I'm
sort of scary if you think about it.
I'm really mad. Okay, I mean, I only had 20 seconds to think about it, Ben. What do you want me to do?
Get angry quicker.
Okay, all right. 479-1080. I'm going to clear all these text lines now.
What?
That's it.
I love the text messages.
They're done. They're gone. We'll start over again. 218-5726. We start a new hour.
The text messages are always the things that people are too scared to come on air and say.
You know what? I think
and in a way, those are some of the most beautiful things.
479-1080. Let's get out to the phone lines. Happy Valley. That sounds like a happy place. Joe?
Hey, what's going on? You know what? I say you, me, and Ben go to Carmel and demand low-income housing. I want to live in Carmel, and I want to pay cheap rent. I don't think it would fly. Anyway, I think the students should just not go to classes for like a week, and that would actually be a good protest. But I have to be honest, too. When I got laid off from my job, when the economy crashed, I took a job in carpeting, and we carpeted at UCSC. And I have to be honest, for what those kids are paying for, it's ridiculous. The place is really falling apart. They told us, don't do any tear-offs on the carpet, just carpet right over the other carpet. And there must have been 8 layers of carpet on there, and we put the 9th layer on there. And this is no lie. I started to do cutoffs on it. My boss was like, whoa, no. And so anyway, and I have to be honest, they're turning like, they're turning like 2-bedroom places into 4-bedroom places.
Yeah.
Is that ridiculous? I mean, come on, man. I mean, you know what? Is that how you want to live, man? I mean, seriously, that's ridiculous, especially them finding that money that Napolitano had. Seriously, like we were in there, and I'm just like, my boss is like, I can't believe this. 4 kids are going to have to live here? It was like insane, man. I mean, seriously, one kid's blow drying his hair, bumping into the other kid's. I mean, it was crazy, Dave. Like they had 4 beds, like 2 bunk beds on each side with like no room whatsoever, and that's what they're doing. But until the kids really get together, and like Ben said, use the government, do something, don't pay your tuition. Man, money talks, boy. You start taking money from that place, they will listen. You guys have a great show and have a kick-ass evening. Bye-bye.
Thank you for the call, Joe. 479-1080.
Yes.
Okay, so this is one of the things that
I just want to say really quick. Joe is absolutely right. On-campus housing is the biggest scam.
Okay, I want to talk about that too. This is one of the reasons why the African Black Student Alliance. Oh, that's what ABSA stands for. I was wondering, what does that stand for?
Another tricky acronym.
You do learn things as you do research. The African Black Student Alliance is standing up to this. They say, we want the Rosa Parks house returned to the students for housing. And we also want low-income housing built down at the bottom of the hill.
They want another housing building, right?
Right. They want another building. So once all this stuff is done, they will have 2 new buildings if everything goes according to plan.
Well, no,
that will be
one
offered.
new building. The other, just a new building for housing.
Right. It's 2 buildings will be offered to student housing. 2 buildings that were current. Okay, 2 new is probably not the right. But you.
Well, that's what I'm a little bit confused about, because they talk about also moving beds out of
what is that about?
the Rosa Parks. I'm assuming that's just the lounge. They want the building for housing, but they want the lounge freed up for something else.
Maybe if I had gone to college like that other guy, maybe I would learn that in lounges they have beds. You know, every lounge I've ever been to just has maybe a leather couch and they serve drinks and you can smoke. They don't have beds. Unless maybe I'm going to the wrong lounges.
That's what these students are protesting. They want the lounge returned to its original use, I think.
Okay, 47910. Does anybody know the history of that? Because I've been trying to find the history of that, and I don't know why it needs to be returned to the students. I mean, what happened to it in the first place?
Yeah, I'd like to find that out,
2 things
too.
must have happened to it, right? It must have belonged to the students at first, and then it was taken from them, and now they want it back. So does anybody know the history out there? 479-1080? DM at KSCO.com.
And we cleared up that it is not a building in Germany that they want.
Right. we did manage to clear it, which I think we could have kind of...
I think we could have guessed that, yeah.
All right, let's head out to Billy. Hey, what are you doing, Billy? I thought you weren't supposed to be here today. Or you're not here today. Hey, the pizza's here, though.
Is it?
Yes.
How'd it get there?
Magic. Susan went out to pick it up.
How good is it?
We haven't opened it up yet, Billy.
So what'd you do? Did you dial 477-7760?
You know it.
And then you ordered it, and then somebody ran over and got it?
Yeah, because it's just down the street right here on Portola Drive. Fantastic deals right there. Right
you could walk over.
Yeah.
Oh, can you smell it?
I can, Billy. Yes, I can. What's going on, Billy?
Oh, you're killing me. Can I change the subject?
Sure.
Okay, thanks. So did you catch the Comey thing today at all?
We did. I caught a little bit of it. I know some of it, and I want to play a clip of
What about Huma Abedin?
Well, just this. He says, you know, I didn't think I should conceal, you know, the fact that there might be these other emails. But before that, he'd been working on this Trump thing with the Russians and everything. Why was it okay to conceal that? Something very strange happened that doesn't make any sense at all. And this thing is far from over, I have a feeling. How about you?
I feel like I shouldn't talk about it, Billy, because I haven't done my research on it. I have no idea. I shouldn't talk about it.
Well, just take that. You know, if you're the FBI and you're conducting 2 different investigations, one on Trump, the other on Clinton, why would you feel compelled to tell the world about the Clinton investigation but not the Trump investigation?
Was the FBI investigating Trump, or was it the DOJ?
I assume the FBI was in on it. I assume both the CIA and the CIA, but I don't know that. Yeah, I don't know.
I guess that's
an
important...
He admitted it. He admitted that he was doing both things, but for some reason he thought it would have been wrong to conceal the information, which, by the way, was what? You know, a few more emails maybe? We'd been there, as opposed to Russia trying to take over our country.
Yeah, we'll talk about that too, Billy. We'll talk about that right now that we're on this kind of UCSC thing. We got phone calls.
Yeah, okay, I'll get away then. I love you.
All right.
Goodbye.
Oh, Billy. Told you not to say that anymore. I hate goodbyes. 479-1080. Let's see who's up next. You know what, dude? Okay. Let me tell you something. A lot of times, you know, and this is just totally off the subject, and a lot of times I think a lot of us take life for granted, and we just kind of assume that we're going to be here tomorrow, or that that my cat's going to be there waiting for me when I get home, or my cat might be have no idea that I'm not going to come home today, right? I might get into a terrible accident, might not.
Russia might take over our country.
You never
tomorrow.
know. Dude. You never know.
According to Billy.
Go to our Facebook page and check out that video of that car in the river, dude, and you're going to find out. You will be reminded instantly of what's really important, and that is your loved ones, whether it's a pet or or a child or yourself, right? Life itself.
It's also important not to drive into overflowing rivers.
That's all. Yeah, you learn that lesson too. Yeah. 479-1080. I thought dogs could swim.
It was one of those little dogs,
Yeah,
man. Those things are useless.
Geez. Let's see who's up next. Jim in Seaside, you're in the air.
How you doing, fellas?
Good, Jim. What's up?
I met a lady a long time ago, back in the early 80s, and she had graduated high school, and she had the opportunity to go to a place in Texas. I was living in San Antonio at the time, and this lady had some type of grant or whatever it was to go to college, and it was an on-campus thing, but she denied what they had for the living conditions. But this lady worked 3 jobs to get her degree, which was a Bachelor of Science degree, which she went and accomplished. It just so impressed me that she went out and worked 3 jobs and still went to school. And I just don't get where these guys and these women and when they go to college now, that everything is gimme, 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 when it's called work for what you got coming to you. And this lady here, it's highly impressed me that she worked 3 jobs. Get up 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, work one of those restaurants that you have the breakfasts in the mornings. She worked 3 or 4 hours on that shift and go to classes, get off, work another 3 or 4 hours, get off and work at nighttime. And she did that to about 4 years. I met her, and it was just amazing. But what is wrong with that type of work ethic? And go to college and, gimme, gimme, gimme. Groups want more special this and that given to them. I don't understand. Nothing comes free in world. Nothing comes free in life. And Dave, I think you respect that kind of attitude, don't you, sir?
I do, but I also, I feel bad for him because I understand. I also understand that, boy, it is not hard to imagine myself being homeless, man. And I tell you, those kids, nobody deserves to be like that. And if you're trying to get an education, the last thing you need to do is worry about that kind of stuff too. And thank you for your call, Jim. We got a bunch of phone calls lined up here. Everybody deserves to have a place to live, though, even students, even
unfortunately
snotty-nosed kids.
I think
we're talking about 7-year-olds, right? What are you talking about here? Yeah, they deserve a place. They deserve an affordable place to stay.
I think, unfortunately, in Santa Cruz, you could work 3 jobs and still not be able to afford housing.
Yeah,
it's
I know,
ridiculous.
And it's not just that. I mean, there's something about that woman. She's a very special woman to be able to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Because not just anybody can do that. Holy cow! Can you imagine working 3 jobs and then keeping the focus to get your grades steady? And just forget it, dude. She's an incredible woman. Not everybody is like that. 479-1080. Let's head out to Aptos. Kyle, you're in the air.
Hey, Dave. I just want
Kyle.
to say you're doing a great job.
Oh, thank you.
And I love your guys' show because it's not super serious. And when was the last time you guys brought up a subject and had 100% of the facts? That's not what this show is about.
It has never happened, ever.
I love it. I love it for the humor. I mean, you guys had me laughing my ass off about the Harry Dong jokes you guys were making yesterday. And if that guy was so anal retentive about the facts, why didn't he give us the facts on this whole protest thing? Why did he just call up and complain? I mean, the guy was just being a prude.
Right.
That's all I wanted to say.
No, thank you, Kyle. I thank you for your call. 479-1080. Yeah, I said he was just I had more descriptive words. Just an elitist, educated butt plug. Can you say that? Butthole. Oh, come on, dude. You don't know
trying
this?
To pull a Stephen Colbert on
instead
us?
of sharing your knowledge with us, why don't you? He'd rather sit there and make fun of us instead of sharing what he paid for. You and the horse you ran in on, or came in on, or whatever you did with that horse. I don't know. Sicko.
To defend him, I mean, yeah, if he was listening to the show and expecting to get like a bunch of facts about what is going on and all the details. Yeah, unfortunately,
NPR don't use no negatives.
Not that show. I mean, we have a news broadcast. They are all facts and they cover the details 100%. If you want that, then you should listen for our news broadcast or go on our website and look at our news stories. What we like to do on the show is open up the lines and let, because, we'll admit it, we are misinformed or uninformed on a lot of the topics we talk about. Underinformed, okay, we'll put it that way. But yeah, we like to open up the lines to our listeners and have them inform us.
Sure. And then, I mean, how much information really, do you not understand that there's a need for affordable housing? I mean, how much research do you need to do to discuss this?
Well, yeah, and I also think the only details that are really released about this right now is the fact that they're occupying the building and this list of demands they've provided.
And if he knows so much, then how come he didn't tell us why the damn house is not in the student's possession right now? What happened to it?
And what is it doing in Germany?
Yeah. 479-1080. Let's get to the phone lines. Dave in Live Oak, you're in the air.
Well, boy, that's good. You guys have a fabulous show. I want to tell you, I'm just really happy with it. You take your work seriously, but you don't take yourself seriously. There has to be humor.
Yes.
And, you know, I just want to make it very brief because you've got a lot of callers online, and there's nothing worse than somebody going on and on and on. You make things happen by, this is for the students, in regards to students at UC.
Okay.
You make things happen by working towards your goals and not demanding them. And I'm going to leave you with what a bunch of nonsense. What a bunch of wamby-pambies. We are all together. And take care, my friends. I don't have all of the answers. I wish everyone good luck, and that includes the students at USC, but I don't think they're going at it in the right manner. Anyway, have a great day, my friends. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dave. 479-1080.
But he doesn't wish the students at USC good luck because they're...
You can't spell scum without USC, right, Ben?
Yes, we wish the students at UCSC good luck.
Yes, them
the
too.
The people at USC can...
go pound rocks.
Yeah.
479-1080, DM at KSCO.com. We're a few seconds away from CBS News. I forgot my watch, so I'm just going to pot it up and keep our fingers crossed. Flight 1080 back after this.
CBS News Update. After repeated stumbles on repealing the Affordable Care Act, the House has scheduled a vote on a revised bill tomorrow, and Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy predicts they have the votes to pass it. Republican Billy Long and Fred Upton were swayed by more money to help people with pre-existing conditions.
With this addition that we brought to the president and sold him on in over an hour meeting in here with him, we're both yeses on the bill.
Politico's Rachel Bade.
I think they're going to do it. I think they're going to get it over the finish line, and I think if they don't, Republican voters across the country are really going to be upset at them, and we're going to see a big depression in voter turnout, and that's something they are very worried about, so they feel like they have to do this.
But Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer still doesn't think the bill has much of a future.
Even if the new version of Trump Care passes the House, we hope it doesn't. Its chances for survival in the Senate are small.
CBS News Update, I'm Pam Coulter.
You're listening to AM 1080 KSCO Santa Cruz. The time is 5:32. Headlines are up next. Here's Susan Simon.
Thanks, Dave. The Salinas teen who might have been deported due to a clerical error is scheduled to be released from custody today. 19-year-old Juan Manuel Martinez, who was brought here as a child and qualifies as one of the Dreamers, was mistakenly turned over to ICE agents recently, but will be headed home today. The name of a woman who was critically injured recently when she was hit by a vehicle in Santa Cruz has been her name has been released. 62-year-old Bonnie Doon resident Elizabeth Green was walking her dog when she was hit by a vehicle driven by San Jose resident Lorenzo Arteaga. Arteaga fled the scene but was arrested a short time later and booked into Santa Cruz County Jail. Anyone who witnessed the felony hit and run is encouraged to contact the Santa Cruz Police Department. According to the monthly Needle Solutions report for Santa Cruz County, more than 200 needles were found in the month of March. The report is put out by the Take Back Santa Cruz Needles Solution team. A variety of solutions to the needle problem in the county are being discussed. And CAL FIRE crews are working on weed abatement and fire protection. That's because the winter rains have led to the rapid growth of a lot of brush and grass. Crews are currently working on mowing the high grass alongside area highways, and they recommend that homeowners work on creating their defensible space around their homes and garages and any other out structures. Time now is 34 minutes after 5 p.m. More local news for you coming up at the top of the hour. For KSCO, I'm Susan Simon.
Thank you, Susan. KSCO drive time is now 5:34. Let's take a quick look at what's happening out there on your roadways. Highway 17 is moving at the limit between Los Gatos and Santa Cruz. Here in Santa Cruz, though, it's stop and go from Santa Cruz into Aptos. Monterey into Seaside, stop and go. Same thing as you head into and pass through Moss Landing. Very, very slow-moving traffic northbound Highway 1. Southbound 101 through Coyote Valley, 10 miles per hour. Highway 129 remains closed near Rogie Lane. San Juan Road is the recommended alternative route for the week, because that will last all week. Highway 68, slow-moving eastbound from York Road to San Venancio, 10 miles per hour. 475-1080 with your traffic reports. Flight 1080, back after this.
I want to thank my mommy for loving me so much.
For taking me to the doctor when I broke my foot.
For leaving me alone when I wanted to be alone.
And
now, as a grown-up, I'm thankful for being able to take care of you, my dear mom, for taking you to your therapies, for understanding that sometimes you simply want to be alone.
Roles change without us noticing. That's why AARP gives you the information to provide even better care for your loved one. Visit aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hi, registered pharmacist Ben Fuchs here. I've been studying healthy bodies for 35 years, and what I've got to tell you may shock and surprise you, but if you listen up, it may change your life. By far, the leading cause of death worldwide is a class of illnesses doctors call non-communicable diseases, or NCDs. These are chronic long-term illnesses that aren't spread from person to person and that don't resolve themselves. One of the more recently described NCDs is a constellation of symptoms referred to as TINU or TINU. TINU, which stands for tubulointerstitial nephritis and uveitis, is an inflammation of the kidney blood vessels, that's the tubulointerstitial nephritis part, and the eyes, that's the uveitis. But this breakdown is not restricted to the eyes and kidneys, that's just where it's noticed. In other words, as exotic and complicated as it sounds, TINU is just another run-of-the-mill circulatory issue that affects the entire body. To reverse TINU or any other circulation system disease, whether it involves the kidneys, the eyes, heart, or the blood flow itself, it's best to take a twofold approach. In the first place, strengthening blood vessels with nutrition, and in the second place, reducing the burdens on the circulatory system by eliminating digestive stresses, lowering blood sugar, and reducing psychological strain, which can put undue pressure on circulatory vessels. That means working on the digestive system by eliminating problem foods and using probiotics, working on the blood sugar system by eating less sweets and flour and processed foods and drink, and turning on the relaxation nervous system. Use nutrition, make sure you're practicing your deep breathing, and of course, mental and emotional strategies are really important. And these are all simple things that everyone should be doing, TINU or not. Pharmacist Ben here, urging you to go to kscohealth.com to order Beyond Tangy Tangerine, the Healthy Start Pack, and other nutritional supplements that I personally use and recommend. You can purchase these premium quality products at wholesale prices online at kscohealth.com. That's kscohealth.com. I'm the pharmacist that believes that staying healthy and strong is not only about medicine, it's about giving your body the raw materials it needs to do its work. Go to kscohealth.com. Make sure you check out the cool videos too at kscohealth.com. That's kscohealth.com.
This portion of Flight 1080 brought to you by the Santa Cruz Sentinel. Read the Sentinel daily in print and online, and hear the stories discussed here with the Flight 1080 team. And call in and be part of the discussion, even if that means arguing with Billy Sunshine.
You're listening to KSCO, serving Prunedale, Parkfield, and Spreckles.
DM at ksco.com. We're at 2300 Portola Drive, where I believe my new wizard suit has arrived. Actually, it's a wizard / judge / graduation robe. I bought it on eBay. Should be here any day. Did you see if it was out there, Ben? Did you see a wizard robe hanging around out there in the
Does
lobby?
it have magical powers?
Not yet.
Because there's a box out there that's just
Is it
floating
really?
in midair.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, I got two things coming. I have my wizard robe and my judge's outfit along with my gavel, so that we can straighten these.
Oh
these
my
things out.
goodness, yes. I cannot wait for the Judge Dave streams.
Yes, those are going to be good. You can follow us. You can see us, actually, right? Today we're live streaming?
We are live streaming on YouTube.
Okay.
So if you go to YouTube, I think if you search Our channel name is KSCO Global.
That's right.
If you go to YouTube, search KSCO Global, or just type in your box YouTube KSCO Global. It should pop up, and we are the live video.
479-1080, 218-5726. Let's head out to the phone lines, and it is Mike in Santa Cruz. You're in the air.
Hey, real quick, guys. UCSC, so I've done a lot of work out there. The reason they overlay the carpets, I'll get to the lounge after this. The reason they're overlaying the carpets is there's a lot of asbestos out there, lead, and chemicals that need to be abated. So rather than taking the extra measures, protecting the safety of everybody else, including the students and the workers, they just overlay it. So there's some hiding going on there. That's in the paint on the walls. That's in the caulking around the windows. That's on the floors that they use to glue the floors down. So it's really bad. I've done a lot of work out there. I prefer not to work out there. With the lounges that the students had before, yes, they are overpopulating like crazy. So when I came in to do, I'm not going to mention the college dorm room that I just redid recently, they had about 16 lounges for the students to hang out, couches, coffee tables, TVs. Same students that moved back in the next year, they took the students out, put 8 to 12 students per these lounges. And like you said, like the previous caller said, the bunk bed thing, I mean, these guys can't even turn around or without shimming around each other. It is ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Really?
Well, yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah,
I
very
don't
ridiculous. Believe it. I got pictures. It's bad. It's bad. You know, the mold there, the abatement that needs to take place, the time that these buildings were built, they were top of the line when they were built, but it needs to be redone. That's bottom line. It needs to be redone. It needs to be addressed. So when I was building, I had a lot of students coming up to me and complaining, why are we doing this? Why are you doing this? And it's like, hey, we see all these signs up, hazardous materials, do not cross lines. Why is everybody walking around with respirator masks? And what's really sad is when we came in there and abated a lot of the stuff, they had us leave certain areas because we weren't working in those areas. But students are still penetrating the paint with their thumbtacks, hanging stuff on the walls. They're scraping the paint. So they are breathing it in. It's a big deal. There's stuff out there that's not coming to light, and I don't know if it ever will, but all you can do is pray and wish that they get their shit straight because they do have a lot of money.
Thank you for your call, Mike. 479-1080.
That's a lot of
bunch
good
of sailors out
information,
there. Straighten out your ships, you guys. Batten down the hatches and swab the poop decks.
Oh, by the way, we should mention that if you are watching online, you can get the unedited version of Flight 1080.
I mean, you can hear what he said?
Yes, you can hear what our good friend Mike was saying, and it's too bad
he had a good call up until that point, too. It was an excellent call.
Yeah, he had a lot of really good information, and what he was saying about the room that these college students are living in, trust me, dude, it is
remind me
as
about
bad
that,
as he was talking about and worse.
Randy's been hanging on forever, but you remind me about that because I want to talk about that, too.
I just want to say, in a room about the size of, I don't know, probably one of your kids' rooms, they put 4 college students.
You know, I got to get to Randy's call, but remind me about that, Ben. I want to say something about that. Line 2, Randy, you're in the air.
Hey, Dave and Ben.
Hey.
How's it going?
Good, Randy. What's up?
Good. Well, when you guys were talking to Billy earlier, I think Ben said something about the DOJ or the FBI, but actually the FBI is the investigative arm of the DOJ, so they're one and the same.
Oh, all right. Thanks for clarifying that.
Yeah, and then Billy's point about, you know, a lot of people wondering why Comey let out about Hillary, which hurt her in the election, but didn't say anything about Trump. He didn't want it out yet. You know, they were and still are investigating. I mean, when you think about it, that Kushner character, he just met with Russians in December. Now, if that would have been out in the public in the summer already, that they were looking at it, he probably wouldn't have done that, right? So I think they didn't want it out yet. That's why.
All right, Randy.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you for Thank you for the call. 479-1080. DM at ksco.com.
I did see, and Billy, I guess, is alleging some sort of
shenanigans.
Well, some sort of, I guess, motivation on Comey's part to influence the election one way or the other. I didn't really see that. What I saw today was the whole Comey saying that Huma Abedin was sending classified information to Anthony Weiner back when they were married.
What's that about?
Well, apparently what they think happened was she was sending him classified documents so that he could print them out for her so that she could take them to Hillary Clinton.
Because she didn't have a printer?
I guess. I mean, they're
Maybe
married.
she's trying to save on ink?
I don't know. I mean, they're a married couple. It's not the craziest thing that happened, but it's definitely very careless on her part if she's, sharing classified information with him, and he's not. He doesn't have that level of classification.
Yeah. 4791080. Okay, Ben. So, I've never been to UCSC.
You haven't?
No.
Oh man, you should go up there.
I'm not a student there, Ben. I would not
Dude,
belong up there.
You are crazy. Oh. It's a beautiful campus. It really is worth checking out.
Really?
Yeah, you should go up there and walk the trails. They have great trails.
All right.
You'd love it.
I've been walking the trails, but I just don't know. I don't want to go walking across campus.
Do I want some beautiful college girls up there?
What was I thinking? What was I talking about, Ben?
I don't know. What were we talking about?
I forgot.
Me too.
Oh, packed college rooms, packed rooms.
Oh yeah.
I've never been there, but I have seen through situations I'd rather not talk about now. I have seen places that are packed like that, where people. I know exactly what you're talking. I've never been to UCSC, but I know exactly what you're talking about because you know who lives like that?
Who?
Illegal aliens.
Yeah.
And that you guys are telling me that it just blows me away that they're treated the same way that people who are here illegally. I mean, it can't be real, dude. This can't be real. And if it is, it's I feel bad for those students. It's criminal.
You know what?
That's
what's
terrible,
even
dude.
Worse is
those are slumlords, is what they are.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know if it's
basically.
Is this the university ring? They're slumlords.
Yeah. This is the UC. This is UC Santa Cruz.
I don't believe this. I just can't believe this.
I don't know if UC Santa Cruz has this policy, but when I went to UCLA, it was required that you live in on-campus housing for the first year that you go there. So
what?
And on-campus housing was, I don't know, something like 5 times as expensive as off-campus housing. I mean, it really is a gigantic ripoff. Like our caller Mike was just saying, these buildings aren't even necessarily safe.
Jeez, this is incredible, dude.
And yeah, they pack you in there like sardines. It's almost. I mean, luckily, when I went to college, we had sort of special accommodations because I was on the water polo team, and we only had 2 people in our room. But I'm serious. I mean, it was a room about the size of a child's bedroom, and they would put as many as 4 college students in there. I mean, you were on bunk beds. Yeah, really, it's not enough room for 4 people to live in at once. That's for sure.
That's pathetic, dude. That is pathetic. And that's not even. I'm sure that's not the right word. Maybe that other jerk could come up with a better word.
You got possibly unsafe conditions. You've got incredibly cramped conditions, and it's more expensive.
Unbelievable. And I mean that literally. I just can't believe it. I can, but I don't want to.
I mean, that's why it's as ridiculous as this protest or taking over the building seems. They have a pretty real grievance.
Yeah, sure. I'm all. You haven't heard me say that they don't have a real grievance. Not at all. 479-1080. All right, let's head out to the phone lines, and it is Jim, Seaside. You're in the air.
Hey, brother.
Hey, Jim.
Man, I had to this lady I was telling you before.
Yeah.
All right, listen, man. The lady went out and got her apartment, man, which she could afford. Well, she had to drive like 45 minutes away.
Right.
And it's really commendable for somebody to go out and do what they have to do to get what they have to get is an education.
Right.
And, and I understand all this, but you know what? All the money they get off of what they getting out of this stuff, that's another issue. But the individuals that's going through this, I've met individuals that go above and beyond to make things happen.
Yeah, like that one that you were just called about, working 3 jobs to make things happen and get her education. There's people out there that really do it. Thank you for your call, Jim. 479-1080. Up next is Pete calling from Santa Cruz. You're in the air, Pete.
Hey, so I'm just trying to understand. Are you trying to elicit sympathy for the UCSC students because I don't recall anybody up there being forced to go to school there.
No, wait. Okay, Pete, hold on. Now, I'm hoping that you're not, being a jerk like that other guy was. All we do is just discuss the headlines. We're not trying to just. All we're doing is discussing the headlines and reopen the phone lines and discuss it with your neighbor and my neighbor and the community at large. Anybody who's within sound of this broadcast is free to talk about it. That's what we do.
But the slant that you're putting on it is that if they're somehow analogous to illegal immigrants, these guys are lining up.
That's what you're talking about.
My kids grow up in this community. They can't get into UCSC because of people from out of state. My kids would pitch a tent on that hill and look at the ocean all day and sleep 5 in a tent if we could go to UCSC and come out of there with a 4-year degree.
Would you really do that, Pete? I mean, really?
Have you been up to UCSC? I would pitch a tent up there in a heartbeat. It's beautiful. It's heaven. It is absolute paradise up there. It is unbelievable, the amount of space and the view and everything. When you go up there, it's a whole different world than
I have seen that. Yeah,
downtown Santa Cruz.
You're right.
The people act different. They treat you different. What they talk about. It's kind of a surreal, different place. And I've been there a lot, and I would feel very lucky to be able to go to school there. If I had to, wherever I could sleep, I would feel very grateful. In 4 years, man, my life's going to be pretty set up.
All right, Pete, thank you for your call.
Thank you.
479-1080. So you see, that's all we do. Pete can say whatever I'm not trying to do anything. I'm not trying to make people feel any. I'm just trying to get us to talk to each other. Come on, we can all get along, right? Hey, say whatever you want about me, but just don't call me late for dinner, buddy. How did that saying go?
Oh, that
hey,
old
you punk! Don't call me late,
joke.
You fat jerk. How did that? I don't forget it. I forgot.
I don't know. I just remember it's misogynistic.
Yeah. 479-10. And I didn't want to bring race into it. I didn't mean to do that. Ben. But from now on, you know what I'm going to do? Just to trip people out, white people out. Every time I see a white person walk towards me, I'm going to lock my doors in my car.
What?
And just stare at them. And, see how they like it.
You would show them, Dave.
479-1080.
Especially if they actually tried to rob you.
Judy in Santa Cruz, you're in the air.
I just wanted to tell you that in the late 50s, early 60s, San Jose State was 4 to a room. Nobody cared. They all went to school, got their degrees. A lot of them came out teachers. The beds were double, bunk beds, 2 bunk beds, just enough room to get by to get into your bed. Nobody cared. They went to school. They had their eye on the outcome of their education. They didn't, So I guess it's just a different world now. Everybody wants things a little different.
A little better, maybe, than the last generation?
Yeah, but when you're young, it's not doesn't need. I mean, in their case, in that time of the year, world, let's say, people didn't make such a big to-do out of being uncomfortable. They had their, they were looking ahead. And they all went downstairs. They all ate in a big, huge room all together, if they wanted to. But anyway, so it's not like it's a new thing. It's like been going on since, since the early 60s. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you for your call, Jim.
Yeah, I mean, you were probably living in the same rooms that those college students are living in today.
Yeah, that's the problem.
It's probably
those
the
things
same
are
building.
50 years older now, or 40 years old, and probably not much has changed. 479-1080.
And no, she's absolutely right. College students will deal with
that's what I wanted to say too.
More barren settings.
Sure.
They'll definitely live in it.
When you're
the
younger,
big
dude,
difference,
everything's
though,
different.
I mean, you should have seen the apartment I lived in college. It was a pigsty. It was terrible.
Had to do with you guys, maybe?
No, it was just a terrible apartment. Like my room was smaller than the room I had in the on-campus housing. The reason I liked living there, though, was because we had no supervision.
Right.
I mean, there's a difference. I'll live in terrible settings if I can, have personal freedom.
As you're younger.
But if you're on campus, you're under the supervision of the TAs or, oh man, I'm forgetting what the name is. But yeah, basically you're under the supervision of the college. You can't do basically anything in those dorm rooms, and you're in cramped crummy conditions.
Now, if we were 8 years old or 9 years old, hey, that would be bitching, right? To hang out there.
Well, yeah, and
with
also
all those people in a room and jump around and pizza and all that. That's cool.
And I mean,
but we're not 9 years old and 10 years old.
I have to respectfully say that I don't know if Judy was telling the complete truth. I guarantee you that there was college students complaining back in the day. I mean, everyone complains about their settings.
479-1080. Let's see who's up
That's
next.
just human nature.
Wendy and Ben Lomond is in the air.
Well, I would like to say about the San Jose State thing. At the time she was probably going down there, that was like the Emerald City of Oz. I mean, Silicon Valley, you had huge amounts of people going to San Jose. And I think we have the same problem here. We are a world commodity. The UC system is worldwide known. Everyone wants to come here, and they have a way of dealing with the locals here. We have, I think, 5 or 6, maybe even 7 other states we can get in-state tuition with. They can also get it for California. So you can, choose. If you don't have the money, you don't want to spend the money. University of New Mexico, where I went out of state to go down there. It's an amazing school. It's right next to Los Alamos, so it's a serious school. I think you can go in Arizona, you can go Nevada, I think Idaho. Ask your guidance counselor about that, and save you a lot of stress and a lot of bills later on in life.
Thank you for your call, Wendy. 479-1080, 218-5726. And the UC president, a.k.a. Slumlord in Chief, just got caught bidding close to $150. I don't know what bidding. I think that's maybe a mistype. Close to $150,000. Meanwhile, students get, isn't it $150 million?
Well, maybe he's talking about something else.
Meanwhile, students get mold and asbestos. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Napolitano has to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Napolitano has to
ho,
go.
ho.
I hate that rant, but he said to say it 3 times, so here we go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Napolitano's got to go. There it is, 3 times. Done. 479-1080. Let's head out to the phone lines. Andres is calling from Aptos. You're in the air.
Hey, quick story. I was out in Carmel once at the Safeway parking lot over there by the crossroads. Pulled in. There was 3 of us in a little S10 truck, and as we got out to go in the store, I noticed there was a obvious local, parked next to us getting out. And just within earshot of him, I told my friend, I said, hey, make sure you guys lock your doors because people around here, the locals, are kind of crazy. And this guy's wearing like a sweater around his neck, and he's got a Mercedes. He heard me, and he was like, we're crazy. You're the one with the wrong Paul sticker. But that was on my truck. That was like kind of what you were talking about, locking the doors when you see
right.
white people.
Yeah.
The other guy that called in about the there not being a comparison between students and illegals. Well, yeah, they're both being taken advantage of, even though they might be in completely different situations. They're both having to go through some sort of injustice.
Yeah.
So just because someone is well off doesn't mean that they can't have their justice denied. And that's what's going on here. And thank you for saying that chant. I hate that chant too, but 3 times.
I hate it too.
Hopefully somebody will get the point.
All right, Andres, thank you for the call. 479-1080, dm@ksco.com. Those are always those, I don't know, professional protesters, but people ready to protest at the drop of a hat always have that, hey, hey, ho, ho, blankety blank has got to go. Or it's the same old thing. Come on,
What do we want?
man.
Yeah. When do we want it?
Come on. Just quit it with that. All right, let's head out to line 2. Trevor's going to wrap it up probably for this hour.
No.
You're in the air, Trevor.
Hey, guys. So 17 to 20-year-olds, 18-year-olds, right? They're always kind of having to go through something, build character to move on to the next step, right? I mean, that's kind of the deal. But you want to talk about asbestos and all that stuff and living conditions, talk about some of our service members. I was a Marine, so 18 to 20 years old, asbestos-lined ships, barracks, I mean, yeah, they're getting paid, but at the same time, pretty tough conditions as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's tough all around.
That's more of a mismanagement by people at the top, and that's exactly where you're talking about the Napolitano having to go and just better oversight in those places and making sure the money does go to the right place. And Dave, I think it was $150 million.
Yeah.
That's a huge amount of money. I'm talking about raising tuition every year, and you find a big windfall like that. Those kids have all the right to complain. I almost said B and complain. But,
right.
Can you say B? I think you can say B.
You can say bitch.
As long as you're talking about a female dog.
Right. 479-1080. Thank you, Trevor. 218-5726. I hope you can. I just said it.
Some guy said it earlier too.
And you know that the whole asbestos thing, when that popped up, and it didn't come as a result of research. It came as a result of a topic, because we like to do this, Ben. We like to throw a topic out there and let people call in. And this came up when we were talking about converting some of that housing out at Fort Ord, right?
You know, that's an interesting point. If we had looked up the information online, we might not have found what that caller Mike had said about how the building conditions at UCSC. Because, like he said, that's probably stuff that isn't public knowledge. That's only something that someone who worked there on the site could tell you about.
479-1080-218-5726. I went to school in Boston, and we slept there in a tiny campus room with bunk beds. Never thought to complain. That was in the 80s. Different times now. Too many crybabies.
That is such BS. I mean, I'm telling you, everyone has such a short memory when it comes to them complaining. I guarantee you that.
KSEO Santa Cruz, Flight 1080. CBS News up next.
CBS News, I'm Pam Coulter. They've been promising it for years, and tomorrow House Republicans will take another vote on a bill to repeal and replace Obamacare. The latest version lets states escape a requirement that insurers charge the same rates to healthy and seriously ill customers. A new provision provides more money to help people with pre-existing conditions. Politico's Rachel Bade.
We do not have a score yet. We don't know if that $8 billion is going to be enough to really help people with pre-existing conditions. It's certainly a lot of money, but there is not a CBO score, and traditionally, Republicans would wait to see what the Congressional Budget Office would say before voting on anything. But right now, there's this urgency. They feel like they have to vote now.
10 patient advocacy groups, including the American Cancer Society and the American Heart Association, call the bill inadequate and unaffordable for people with major medical conditions. On a bill to keep the government operating.
On this vote, the yeas are 309, the nays are 118. The motion is adopted.
CBS's Steve Dorsey.
The House overwhelmingly approved the $1.1 trillion spending bill that avoids a government shutdown Friday and funds it through September. It now goes to the Senate. The bipartisan agreement includes billions of dollars in new spending on defense and border security. However, it doesn't include money to build a border wall.
At a Senate hearing, FBI Director Jim Comey defended his handling of the Clinton email and Trump-Russia investigations during the election.
I think I treated both investigations consistently under the same principles.
CBS's Jeff Pagay says Comey was asked about his reopening of the Clinton investigation just days before the election.
There were a lot of Democrats on that panel who were really pressing Comey about his decision making, and some of what came out was new in that he talked about how agonizing it was to make this decision, and really they were left with two options. Concealment was one of them, which was not to say anything about the new batch of emails that were discovered, or catastrophic, and that would have been speaking about the case.
President Trump plans to sign an executive order tomorrow dealing with religious organizations. CBS's Bill Rakoff.
Members of the President's Evangelical Advisory Board are expected to be on hand for the signing of the executive order, including Richard Land and Paula White. The order, according to a White House official, would provide cover to organizations like Christian hospitals and universities from having to pay for contraception and abortions.
3 people were killed and 9 injured today when an SUV suddenly accelerated during a crowded indoor auto auction in Massachusetts. This man saw it happen.
All of a sudden, just gave it gas. Don't know what happened. Flew by me, and instead of hitting the cars in front of him, just went through the lane of people and then hit right through the building. It was crazy. It just happened so fast.
The Dow was up 8 points today. NASDAQ was down 22. This is CBS News.
Wouldn't it be great if you could stop crime before it happens? With the Ring Floodlight Cam, you can. I'm Jamie Siminoff, inventor and founder of Ring. Floodlight Cam is a motion-activated HD security camera that connects right to your phone, so you're alerted when anyone steps onto your property. You can now see, speak, or even sound an alarm right from your phone, anywhere, anytime. Does your floodlight prevent crime? Ours does. Go to ring.com/advantage and save $150 off of a Ring of Security kit. That's ring.com/advantage.
This is Charles Husband. Olivet Nazarene University believes that an education unlocks a person's potential. They believe an educated person has a positive impact on his or her community. They believe that education is not something to be contained, but imparted to the world. They believe in you. Learn more at graduate.olivet.edu. Olivet Nazarene University. Where you are to where you will be.
Minority students still lag behind whites getting high school diplomas.
The nation's high school graduation rate topped 83% in 2015. The lead author of a Johns Hopkins study says that's good news because it represents an all-time high. And statistics show that low-income and minority students are catching up, but they still trail their more affluent white peers. The graduation rate for Latinos is just under 78%, while 74.6% of African-American students get a diploma. Johns Hopkins researcher Jennifer DePaoli says she hopes to see 9 out of 10 students earning a sheepskin by 2020. Frank Sedapani, CBS News.
The body of serial killer Dr. H.H. Holmes will be exhumed. His grandchildren want to silence rumors that he escaped from prison. Holmes killed dozens of people at his hotel during the 1893 World's Fair, a story told in the bestseller, The Devil in the White City. Pam Coulter, CBS News.
Imagine all the sleep you cost your mom through the years. As a crying baby, nightmares in grade school, and speaking of nightmares, let's not even talk about when you were a teenager. Hi, I'm Scott Tannen, founder of Boll & Branch, and I'm going to help you give your mom the gift she deserves, a great night's sleep with a set of Boll & Branch sheets. Our sheets are handcrafted from 100% organic cotton, the softest she'll ever feel, and they get softer over time. We only sell at bollandbranch.com, so you get twice the quality at half the price. No middleman markups. Everyone loves Boll & Branch, even 3 U.S. presidents. We guarantee she'll love them too. That's why your mom can try them risk-free for 30 nights. They arrive beautifully packaged in our signature gift box. No wrapping needed. Now through Mother's Day, we'll give you $50 off your first set of sheets when you go to bollandbranch.com and use promo code SLEEP. That's bollandbranch.com spelled B-O-L-L and branch.com. Promo code SLEEP. That's bollandbranch.com. Promo code SLEEP.
Good afternoon, everyone. You're listening to AM 1080 KSCO Santa Cruz, AM 1340 KOMY, La Selva Beach, Watsonville. The time is now 6:06. We've got traffic and weather for you. We start off with traffic. Highway 17 moving pretty close to the limit between Campbell and Santa Cruz. The only exception is right there near the 85 connector. I believe that's mainly affecting only those of you getting onto Highway 85. For the most part, though, 17 is looking good. Here in Santa Cruz, slow-moving traffic should be expected from Santa Cruz into Rio Del Mar. Speeds fluctuating. Stop and go. 10 miles per hour will be your top speed there. Heading into Seaside, northbound 1, 20 miles per hour. Stop and go traffic in Moss Landing, northbound and southbound, near the harbor, so be ready for that. Southbound 101 through Coyote Valley. I might have mentioned that already. 10 miles per hour. 129. I know I mentioned, but we'll do it again because it's going to be closed all week long. The alternative route is San Juan Road. Riverside Drive, a.k.a. Highway 129, closed between Chittenden and Rogie Lane. All right, your weather forecast for tonight, partly cloudy. Low should be around 53 degrees. Tomorrow should be sunny. Highs will be in the upper 60s. Your boaters forecast for tonight, west winds 10 knots, wind waves 2 feet or less, west swells 3 to 5 feet at 13 seconds, and southwest 3 feet at 18 seconds, along with patchy, dense fog after midnight. The time is now 6:07. We have headlines coming up next. They are being brought to you by Bedell Nelson and Harbert Insurance Agency, proudly celebrating over 90 years of serving the people of Santa Cruz County. Bedell Nelson and Harbert, one agent, one company, and answers you can trust. Their phone number is 426-3700. That's 426-3700. Currently 69 degrees outside KSCO Studios. The time is now 6:08. Headlines up next. Here's Susan Simon.
Thanks, Dave. A 21-year-old Hollister man who suffered second and third degree burns yesterday faces a variety of charges. Lane Gallo Jr. reportedly suffered the burns while trying to manufacture a concentrated form of cannabis known as butane honey oil. He could face charges of manufacturing a controlled substance, unlawful use of fire, child endangerment, and possession of marijuana for sale. A fire that broke out this morning in the San Ardo oil fields has been contained to 6 acres. The cause of that blaze was a faulty electrical connection. The public is reminded to maintain a minimum 100 feet of defensible space around structures, as well as practicing exit drills at their homes. People are encouraged to go online to www.readyforwildfire.org for more information on how to prepare and prevent wildfires. A former Soledad High School teacher has been sentenced to 9 months in Monterey County Jail for having sex with a student. The Monterey County District Attorney's Office reported that Alexander Luna Salazar had unlawful sex with a 17-year-old female student during the 2015-2016 school year. Salazar is required to register as a lifetime sex offender and is also required to receive sexual offender treatment. Board members of the San Lorenzo Valley Water District met today to discuss the use of a product called Roundup in the Olympia watershed. Rick Moran, an Environmental Citizen Committee member, told KSCO.
There's a couple of endangered species on the habitat site, so that adds a complication. But there hasn't been, to my satisfaction, a look at alternatives to the standard practice of restoration. It's really a restoration industry, and industry keeps on going back to saying they don't like Monsanto, but they keep on buying Monsanto's products to help do their restoration.
Reportedly, board members did not make a decision on the matter today, which means it's expected to be put back on the agenda at a later date. And the city of Santa Cruz may face fines for not having put together a required management plan. For years, the California Coastal Commission has demanded the city have a management plan for the erosion that's been taking place along West Cliff Drive. Now things have come to a head, and if the city isn't at least working on putting together a plan within the month, the Commission's enforcement unit is expected to step in. Time now coming up on 11 minutes after 6 p.m. More local news for you coming up at the bottom of the hour. For KSCO, I'm Susan Simon.
This local news report is brought to you by Bedell Nelson Harbert Insurance Agency, proudly celebrating over 90 years of serving the people of Santa Cruz County. Bedell Nelson Harbert, one agent, one company, and answers you can trust. Call 426-3700.
I want to thank my mommy for loving me so much.
For taking me to the doctor when I broke my foot.
For leaving me alone when I wanted to be alone.
And now, as a grown-up, I'm thankful for being able to take care of you, my dear mom, for taking you to your therapies, for understanding that sometimes you simply want to be alone.
Roles change without us noticing. That's why AARP gives you the information to provide even better care for your loved one. Visit aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
You can get almost anything on the internet except personal service. Hello, I'm Scott Bedell with Bedell Nelson Harbert Insurance, your allied agent in Santa Cruz. When you call Bedell Nelson Harbert, a real person will answer the phone. A real person will help you save money by packaging your home and auto insurance with Allied. We can even help you save on your vacation rental with the Foremost Insurance Group. Give us a call at 426-3700 and ask a real person for a free, no-obligation quote. We are the real people of Bedell Nelson Harbert Insurance, and we can save you money because Allied and Nationwide are on your side.
When you think of local, I want you to think of quality healthcare where you live. Think of local primary care physicians, local specialists, and local patient care coordinators. From Boulder Creek to Watsonville, Physicians Medical Group provides care from 100 locations throughout Santa Cruz County. PMG's patient care coordinators are the team you call when you need answers. To learn more about local healthcare with Physicians Medical Group, visit pmgscc.com or call 831-465-7800.
This is Mrs. Future from the Dr. Future Show. We have had Etheric Networks for 10 years, and it has always been really a stellar service. There's always a real person there. If you have any need to call them, they fix things as quickly as possible. Our service has hardly ever been down, and the service is just great. We live kind of in the middle of nowhere, and there are no other mainstream bandwidth providers where we are, and Etheric is a great service. We're really lucky we have it. Thank you, Etheric Networks.
KSCO Residential Special. Residential service up to 10 megabits per second. Symmetric. That's up and down for $85 a month and $199 installation. With guaranteed minimum speeds and uptime, unlike our competitors. Etheric Networks. Call 650-399-4200. That's 650-399-4200. Etheric.net. That's ETHERIC.net.
This portion of programming brought to you in part by Dignity Health, including Dignity Health Medical Group Dominican and Dominican Hospital. This open enrollment, choose a plan that includes Dignity Health. For more information, visit DominicanOpenEnrollment.org. Dignity Health. Hello, human kindness.
You're listening to KSCO, serving freedom, Hunter Liggett, and Jamesburg.
You're listening to Flight 1080 KSCO Santa Cruz. To get on board, all you have to do is dial that number. 831 is the area code, 479-1080, 218-5726 with your text messages. That is 218-KSCO. You can interact that way, and of course you can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Flight 1080. All right, Ben, should we move on? I mean, we didn't even read all the demands that these guys have. The students that have taken over.
Yeah, I just got a call about that, actually.
Really? What, do they want to hear the demands?
No. One of our callers
move to a different topic.
was watching Fox News, and apparently Tucker Carlson was interviewing one of the students that's in this building making these demands.
Really?
Yeah.
So this is a nationwide story now.
Yeah. Well, apparently Tucker Carlson's covering it.
Wow. All right, 479-1080. Okay, so we talked about two of their demands, right? They want more housing for the students. We demand the university fund the entire exterior of the Rosa Parks African-American themed house being painted Pan-African colors. So they want the house to be painted red, green, and black.
Green. I thought it was like red, green, and gold.
Well, this story here, and I think this is an official release from them.
Red, gold, and green.
Says that the colors they list are red, green, and black.
Huh.
We demand that all new incoming students from 2017-2018 school year forward go through a mandatory in-person diversity competency training in the event that the online module is not implemented by June 2017. We demand that the training be reviewed and approved by us. And again, this is the I hate trying to figure out acronyms. The African Black Student Alliance. That's they want
ABSA.
ABSA, yeah. We demand the university allocate an additional $100,000 to the SOAR Student Media, Cultural Arts, and Diversity permanently. 479-1080.
I thought one thing I noticed was they, on their list of demands, they also have a list of justifications, which, I mean, if you're going to make demands, you might as well say why you demand them.
Right. Where did you see that at, Ben?
Well, it's just right after the list of demands.
Oh, okay, there it is. Yeah, the reasoning and justification for each one of the above-mentioned demands is okay, I see. I see what you're talking about. Lounge spaces have historically served as a safe space for ABC students. Releasing the space to serve its original purpose will help retain ABC identified students. Okay, so that's all kind of boring stuff there.
Well, boring to you.
Yeah, boring to me. I mean, the real juicy
it's
stuff.
Exciting enough for
the
Tucker
juicy
Carlson.
stuff is that they're out there, Ben. They've taken over Kerr Hall, and they are demanding low-income housing for students.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, that a building be made re-available to them, and that a new building be built down at the bottom of the hill that will be run by them.
And I think they want that the Rosa Parks building to guarantee housing for I think African American students, right?
Traditionally disadvantaged
yeah,
people,
historically oppressed or historically
something like that. So I think I think they're implying that it's not just for blacks. Also, I guess
I would hope not, because
it wasn't. I mean, I guess if you thought about it, blacks, I mean, definitely took got a raw deal, but so did American Indians, Native Americans. So did I don't know, Chinese, Japanese. They took it. They didn't get treated very nice. Oppressed people, historically oppressed people. It's more than just one color,
Yeah, and I mean, maybe I'm not clear on this, but it seems to me like they're talking about segregated housing.
Yeah, that is kind of what it sounds like, right?
Which,
and that's bizarre, cool. Because it's not cool, because I know there's got to be poor white people out there. As a matter of fact, I have it right here. And you know what, Ben? Percentage-wise, Native Americans and what we call Eskimos, I don't know what the term is for them up there, but also Native Americans, because Native North Americans, they are the ones by far, percentage-wise,
really?
Yeah, that suffer in poverty. Next is blacks.
They don't all own casinos?
No, they don't all own casinos. Next is blacks, and whites, as far as percentage goes, not even close. As far as the numbers go, holy cow, dude. I mean, there is like 5 times as many poor white people as there are of any other race. Percentage-wise, that's not necessarily true, but as far as real raw numbers, yeah. That just doesn't seem fair that they seem to be excluded from that. 479-1080, 218-5726. Let's see. These demands are childish. No change will come like this. These demands are not unifying. Demand something that will gather a unifying momentum. That was sent into our text line. All right.
Well, I don't think their goal is to unify. I mean, this is about 150 to 200 students. They have very specific demands.
479-1080. We'll move on. Let's see what Dave has to say, though. He's calling from Live Oak. You're in the air, Dave.
Thank you very much. I was thinking about this after I talked to you earlier about, I've been on both sides of the fence many, many times. And I'm white, and nobody ever told me that I wasn't black. I think we all should work together. I think this is not a good way to go about it, what they're doing. I might be wrong. I made a lot of mistakes in my life. I'll make a heck of a lot more. I make them every day. But I think that it's mainly a younger crowd, and they haven't had enough, I don't want to be judgmental of them now, had enough experience in life to really, to go about doing what they're doing. Our forefathers naturally did exactly what they're doing, but that's a whole nother story. I think they're going about it the wrong way. In conclusion, I don't want to take up a lot of time again, but I remember I'm going on 76 years old. I was born and raised in Santa Cruz. I spent my 40s and 50s and 60s. I graduated from Santa Cruz High School, my 70s here, and I had a very successful business here. I left it and ventured out, took my family, ventured out, and I wouldn't have traded for anything. Just moved back about a year ago and continued on with the same business in other areas. And it was like going from paradise to another area, but everything happens for a reason and for a purpose in life. And I just wish these students all of the best. I think that they should take a look at themselves. They're a little bit young now to be, I think they're going about it the wrong way. In conclusion, I'd like to bring up I remember living briefly, a very young boy, in San Luis Obispo, California. And I used to go to Cal Poly, ride my bike around there, and these little travel trailers, they're very small. I mean, they're really small. If anybody knows what a little travel trailer is, you can barely get 2 people in it. That's what they slept in. That's what they lived in. They had outdoor toilet facilities, and there was no problem. But we live in a different era now, and you know, if you have any questions, you can ask me. If not, I'll sign off.
All right. Well, thank you for your call, Dave. We have a few questions, I guess, or not many questions as much as statements. And Ben, you and I were talking about this. It's a different world.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can't expect, or you should. What you should expect is for things to get better for the next generation. And it just seems like things have been not going that way.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think someone pointed out these college students are probably living in the same exact buildings that a lot of our listeners were living in when they went to college. So, yeah, things have not changed a lot on college campuses.
479-1080. Let's take a look at our other headlines, local headlines anyways. Santa Cruz County still dealing with the dirty needle problem. 239 used needles were found across Santa Cruz County between March 2017 and April 2017, according to the latest Needle Solutions report from Take Back Santa Cruz. 32 needles were found.
Month.
Yeah, in just a month. Yeah, 32 needles were found by citizens.
That's like almost 10 a day,
groups.
huh?
32 needles. Well, 32 needles were found in a month. That's one a day.
Never mind.
I
was thinking of a different number.
No, 207 needles were found by Santa Cruz City workers in the same month. So there's a total of 240 needles.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about
not quite
eight per day.
Yeah, not quite 10 a day, but
the average
close.
number of needles found is 260 per day divided by 30. That's, I don't know, something like that. It's a lot. A 7-year-old even found a needle loaded with heroin, Ben, on the sidewalk. Yeah.
How'd they know it was heroin? Someone tried out?
I don't know. Maybe. Take Back Santa Cruz, which has been collecting data on used needles for years, says it's important to keep doing reports. This is from KION 546, by the way. We do not want the community to forget our problems, where they stem from, and they don't stem from the needles. They stem from what people are putting in the needles and the drug addiction problem we have in our community, said Annalicia Cube with Take Back Santa Cruz.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting that she said that.
Because most of the time you hear people blaming the needle exchange program itself.
Right. The issue is that something that Santa Cruz County officials are aware of, so they have several safe collection sites around and passed the first provider take-back law in the country. What is that? Any pharmacy that sells needles, if you bring those needles, they have to collect them at no charge, and the pharmaceutical manufacturers pay for that program. That's what that program is.
You know,
is about the first provider take-back
Maybe
program.
this would be too expensive, but I mean, I sort of just came up with this. Why don't they just put like a little tracking chip on all the needles they give out? That way, you know, if they don't get returned, at least you know where they are.
Well, you could put a little serial number on there and have them, exchange them. You don't get a new needle unless you bring back the old one. And if we find the old one out there with that serial number, then we know it's you, and you will get no more needles.
Yeah,
I don't
think that's how the program would be willing to work, though.
Not everyone, Ben, agrees that the needle exchange.
The whole idea of harm prevention is that you give them clean needles to make sure they're not injecting themselves with dirty needles.
Not everyone agrees that the needle exchange approach is the way to go, with some saying that more emphasis should be put on rehabilitation. Rehabilitating them, Ben. Rehabilitating them.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Another proposed solution is AB 186. This is from Assemblywoman Susan Talamontes.
Is this the one with the safe injection centers?
Yes, the safe injection sites.
This is pretty controversial.
Yeah, that is a pretty controversial. She says that this would create places for people to take drugs with the supervision of medical professionals. However, at least 2 county supervisors say they do not appreciate it. They say, while we appreciate innovative efforts at harmful reduction, we agree with the Santa Cruz County's public health officer that Santa Cruz County is not prepared for an injection facility. That is KION 546. You can find that there. Danny in Aptos, line 1. Thank you for your call. You're in the air.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Off the subject question, although it's a good topic, just wondering, does anyone know why the power is out in Aptos and there's 5,000 people without power? Wow. It took me forever to get home.
We will get on that right now. We'll start looking up.
Yeah.
Start looking on that right now.
My neighbor called me on the cell phone and said, "What up?" I said, "I don't know. It must be this horrific storm we're going through."
I don't know. We'll find out right now, though. But on that note, thank you for your call, Danny. Let's see. This is from the Monterey Herald. Pacific Gas and Electric is paying the SafeNet program pays $25 to $100 automatically, 45 to 60 days after a storm outage. This is for people who lost power. 45 to 60 days after a storm outage, the PG&E Safety Net program will pay $25 to $100 automatically. But again, this is 45 to 60 days after the storm outage. In most cases, the power company consults internal records to identify customers who are eligible to receive checks. So they already know who you are, assuming that you called and say, hey, I got no power. They know who you are, so you should hopefully get at least a partial refund for those days that you suffered the power outage. 479-1080, Ben.
Yeah, I'm on the PG&E outage map, and I do see a very large outage. It looks like it's going from Aptos, like right down near Rio Del Mar, or I should say above Rio Del Mar, extending all the way out to the mountains. And then there's also another power outage. I believe it's listing it here on the PG&E map. Let's see if I can bring up any details on this other one. I'm not sure. I think this might just be an error, but definitely. All right, so the one big outage, the one that our caller just called about, it happened. It started around 5:25 p.m. They have an estimated restoration time. They're saying that they estimate they should have the power back on by 9:30 tonight. So that is another 3 hours from now. So yeah, if you are in Aptos and you're without power, that's going to be at least another 3 hours, according to the PG&E estimate. It says it's affecting about 1,920 customers, so about 2,000 people.
Holy
or
smokes.
2,000, I guess, houses. Yeah, and it doesn't look like they have a cause yet.
Okay, we'll keep you updated. Keep it tuned in. KSEO Santa Cruz Flight 1080. CBS News is up next. It's 6:31. Flight 1080 back after this.
CBS News Update. House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy says they have the votes to pass a revised Obamacare repeal bill tomorrow. Some Republicans came on board when the president agreed to an amendment providing $8 billion to help cover people with pre-existing conditions. CBS's Stephen Portnoy.
The White House insists the only people at risk are those with pre-existing conditions who live in a state that receives a waiver if they go without insurance for more than 2 months. Spokesman Sean Spicer says that would be a small number of people, and he shrugs off one analysis, suggesting $8 billion isn't enough to help them.
If the bill makes it through the House, Politico's Rachel Bade says it has an uncertain future.
The Senate is a lot more centrist Republicans, a lot more moderate-minded. They're going to totally change this bill. And once they change this bill, if they can get, say, the simple majority they will need to actually get through the Senate, how does that pass the House?
CBS News Update, I'm Pam Coulter.
You're listening to AM 1080 KSCO Santa Cruz. It is 6:32 and time for local headlines. Up next, Susan Simon.
As the guys were just saying, more than 1,900 PG&E customers are without power in the Aptos area right now. PG&E is working to determine the cause of the outage, and they hope to have the power back to those customers by about 9:30 tonight. A man pleaded guilty to sexually molesting a young girl. 60-year-old Juan Mateo Salvador Rivera of Salinas admitted yesterday to 1 count of forcible child molest and 1 count of non-forcible child molest. Salvador Rivera is the victim's aunt's husband, and he's scheduled to be sentenced June 8th. He faces a sentence of up to 12 years in prison. According to the monthly Needle Solutions report for Santa Cruz County, more than 200 needles were found in the month of March. The report is put out by the Take Back Santa Cruz Needles Solution team. A variety of solutions to the needle problem in the county are currently being discussed. The name of a woman who was critically injured recently when she was hit by a vehicle in Santa Cruz has been released. 62-year-old Bonnie Doon resident Elizabeth Green was walking her dog when she was hit by a vehicle driven by San Jose resident Lorenzo Arteaga. Arteaga fled the scene but was arrested a short time later and booked into Santa Cruz County Jail. Anyone who witnessed the felony hit and run is encouraged to contact the Santa Cruz Police Department. And the city of Santa Cruz may face fines for not having put together a required management plan. For years, the California Coastal Commission has demanded the city have a management plan for the erosion that's been taking place along West Cliff Drive. Now things have come to a head, and if the city isn't at least working on putting together a plan within the month, the Commission's enforcement unit is expected to step in. Time now 34 minutes after 6 p.m. More local news for you coming up at the top of the 6 o'clock hour tomorrow morning. For KSCO, I'm Susan Simon.
Thank you, Susan. You're listening to AM 1080 KSCO Santa Cruz. Highway 1 in Santa Cruz is stop and go at 41st Avenue and at State Park. You want to be on the lookout for an accident, a vehicle on fire actually being reported near Freedom. Southbound 1 near Freedom, a car fire reported at 555. This car is totally engulfed in flames. Tow truck is there. Hopefully they've got a fire extinguisher on them. Highway 1, let's check in. I was just making that part up near 41st Avenue. Yeah, it's stop and go. I figured that was a safe guess. 5 miles per hour, maybe. It's like that from SoCal Avenue to Rio Del Mar. Highway 1 and Moss Landing, both directions slow moving as you approach the harbor. Your weather forecast for tonight, partly cloudy. Low should be around 53 degrees. Tomorrow, sunny. Highs will be in the upper 60s. Your boaters forecast for tonight, west winds 10 knots, wind waves 2 feet or less, and west swells 3 to 5 feet at 13 seconds, and southwest 3 feet at 18 seconds, along with patchy dense fog after midnight. The time is now 6:35. Flight 1080 back after this.
Hello, folks. Charlie Friedman here at Ella's at the airport. Ella, how do you get people to travel to the Watsonville airport just to enjoy the food?
Service, we really feel like, is paramount for any good restaurant. You know, you can have great food, but if you don't have great service to go with it, then sometimes the bill is not fulfilled. And we feel that service is just as important, and so we really pride ourselves in being attentive, taking care of our customers as if we would be our parents. And of course, our ambiance is exceptional. I think, personally, I am a little biased, but I think our ambiance is gorgeous. We have those rolling hills that are so green right now, airplanes cresting over the hill and landing right in front of our restaurant. Of course, we have transformed that restaurant, which has been there for well over 30 years, I think, into a wonderfully comfortable dining experience. It's really a comfortable elegance is what we like to call it.
Ella's at the Watsonville Airport.
Coast to Coast AM catches more flies with vinegar than honey.
I have some concerns about these questions.
How do you know what's real and what's not real? I'm George Norrie, and on our next program, you will know that the truth is much stranger than fiction, isn't it? Later on, Christine Day joins us with messages from the Pleiadians and activating your own destiny. Wow.
That's the recipe for great radio on Coast to Coast AM.
Listen to Coast tonight, beginning at 10 p.m. on KSCO.
You wanted to see me?
Yes, please, have a seat. So here's the thing. When this company brought you on, we took a chance on you. You didn't have that 4-year college degree we typically look for.
Right.
But we gave you a shot anyway. And since then, you've worked incredibly hard and given it your all.
Thanks.
You've been an important asset to the team, but I don't think you can be an intern here anymore. We want to hire you.
You're serious?
Absolutely.
Find your next great employee. Introduce yourself to the Grads of Life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
I won't let you down.
I know.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
How many lawyers does it take to answer a legal question? In this case, the answer is 2. Join my co-host, Law Professor Stephen Wagner, and me, Mitchell Winnick, Dean of Monterey College of Law. Wagner and Winnick on the Law, Saturday afternoons, 4 to 5 p.m., here on KSCO AM 1080. Remember, if you don't know the law, know a lawyer.
You're listening to KSCO, serving Ben Lomond, Holone, and Santa Rita.
479-1080. You're listening to Flight 1080 KSCO Santa Cruz. Check us out on KSCO.com, ZBSradio.com, and, of course, download the app for your smartphone.
You just hit your face?
Yeah, it hit this thing. Microphone here. 218-5726, Ben. This number to call in with your text messages.
To call in with your...
to text you. I'm getting confused here. I just want to get to
You're on autopilot,
I'm just
dude.
trying to read this thing, really, is what I'm trying to... Yeah, I am on autopilot. Let me see here.
Are you reading a text message?
Yeah, I'm reading a text message.
Oh,
It's a
those are always the
three-part.
best.
It's a three-part text message.
Ooh,
which is kind of,
must be good.
Yeah. Analogy: giving out needles to users to prevent blood-borne pathogens is like giving paper plates to people who can't wash dishes to prevent foodborne pathogens. Those both create tons of litter and human/environmental harm. To many needle users, not responsible enough to properly dispose of those needles, even when given all the tools. Many lack the mental ability. This puts everyone else at higher risk. I think I might have read that wrong. You get what I'm saying, though, Ben. Okay, so two more things. Two things, Ben, drove me crazy today. Absolutely crazy.
Mm-hmm.
One was this punk ass.
Crazier than you actually are.
Yeah, this punk that I'm all for. You know, we were talking about humor yesterday too, right? And laughing at some things that seem mean. And I get that. I get the humor. It can't always be funny. And then there's humor is weird. Everybody laughs at different things. You can't blame somebody for laughing if a kid crashes on his bike, but he's okay, right? He does something dumb. You go, oh, come on, dude, that's so dumb, ha ha ha, right?
Basically, you're trying to justify why you're such a jerk.
Yeah, I guess. But Ben, okay. So what I'm saying is that
it's true. I mean, some people have a sort of a darker sense of humor than other people.
Yes. And even Ben, I admit
some people are just mean.
I admit that I have this little side of me that is not very cool and will laugh at a kid that crashes on his bike, assuming that there's no major injuries, right?
But is there a side of you that will stick a stick in his spokes or something?
No, there's not that side of me, and that's what I want to talk about, Ben, because that side exists in some people, especially this buttwad named Daddy05.
Oh,
holy cow,
yes.
man,
this
dude!
Is
so this guy and his wife, they go online, they make these viral videos, and they go viral, and they do it at the expense of their kids, at the cost of their kids' mental health and physical health.
Oh yeah.
Did you see some of these videos?
I saw a video where it was like a YouTube personality, and he was talking about the video.
Mm-hmm.
So in that video, he showed clips.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, I've seen basically what goes on in these videos.
Dude, oh my God, I
just want to say for our audience,
that's the sound of my goat getting got. That's just
I just want to point out for our audience that Dave never wants to talk about anything to do with custody issues, but he's willing to talk about it in this case because
these guys got their kids taken away from them.
2 of them, yeah.
2 kids taken away, and 2 of their, I don't know how many kids there were.
I think they have 5 children.
Jeez. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And you know what, dude? They deserve to get their kids taken away. And I rarely ever say that, but man, you watch this video. You guys out there, watch this video. I think you could probably find it on Facebook, and go to Daddy05 and you'll find.
Yeah, you can find them. I think they might have taken the videos off of YouTube.
They did. They took them off YouTube.
Other people have recorded them since. You can find these videos online. I mean, I don't know if it's really worth watching.
It is. It is because it'll give you. It's an eye-opening. What the hell do we find funny? I mean, who is watching these things? Who watches these videos? I mean, who is Daddy05? Who are his followers? If you're following him, you know what? You're pathetic. You are pathetic.
Isn't it?
This guy, let me explain what this guy did, Ben, because everyone just hears me freaking out and they have no idea why. Some of the things that this guy did to his kid.
Well, it was the man and his wife.
The man and his wife, yeah. And you can even see the disgusting wife that, ugh.
All right, be nice, Dave.
Yeah, I'm not even going to say it. She says, well, this is the trick. This is the prank today. She goes, I got this invisible ink. I'm going to pour it all over the room. You saw this, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, basically one of the premises, I think, of their videos
Did you see the setup, though?
They create a mess.
As they're planning this, to do this to their kids, dude, they are planning to totally destroy this kid emotionally.
Yeah, basically they create a mess and then bring in the child,
dude, and
say, what did you do?
The guy is down there filming his kids. Go, hey, what's going on? And then you hear the mom upstairs freaking out. What the hell is going on? But she's not getting to hell. She's saying the F word, right? F this and F that. Beep this, beep, beep, beep. Get up here. So the kid runs up to the room, and he's going, Mom, I don't know what's going on. And he's screaming. Dude, this guy is freaking out. The poor kid,
yeah, and they're basically screaming, what did you do? What did you do?
And this kid's like, I didn't do nothing. He's crying,
yeah.
and they're
he
screaming
didn't
at him.
Do it.
And people think
what
is
funny? A kid in that situation supposed to do? I mean, he did not create this mess. His parents are screaming at him. He's probably terrified and confused.
And then, they interview the kids, and they say, hey, son, do you feel like you've been abused? He goes, no. Well, what the hell do you want him to say? You're a big bully. He even got kicked off of YouTube for bullying, and this is his own child. The children were taken away from him. I mean,
I think two of the children that were his children by another woman.
Yeah.
Their mother basically saw these videos and say, "Hey, I don't want my kids to be in that environment."
And you know what? In one of these videos, they're laughing. They're going, "Ha ha! We still have our kids. We were already investigated by CPS, and they apparently didn't find anything. You know why? Because we didn't do nothing. This is all a joke. This is all acting, and blah blah blah." Well, you know what? Can we say, we better not.
Yeah.
You know what? You freak. You're disgusting. We should get off the topic, dude.
Because you'll say something that the FCC won't be proud of.
That I won't be proud of, dude. I mean, just totally. You talk about misogyny. I would just unload on this woman like you would not believe, dude. I just can't think of a more disgusting person.
You can't just blame her. It's the dad's fault too.
No, dude. The mother is supposed to be the one. The mother is the key lover of the family. I mean, and it's
you don't think a dad can have that role?
Sure, they can, but the mother is the one that, dude, you have to be able to count on your mother. You have to be able to count on your mother.
Well,
those were not her kids, not her blood kids.
I would say that.
I don't care, dude. I don't know any woman that would not stick up for kids. I don't know it. I just can't see it. Again, I cannot believe, or I don't want to believe. I refuse to believe. It blows me away, dude.
Yeah, well, I don't think that this is a very functional family. I think
obviously not.
I mean, obviously, they're not physically abusing their children, but it's emotional abuse.
Oh, it's absolutely emotional. And physical abuse. There's one trick where he did something and pushed his son's head into a bookcase. His son had a bloody nose. So, yeah, there's physical abuse there, too.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I didn't see that, but I believe you. So, yeah, like I said, this is not a functional family. I think one of the issues, I don't know, maybe I'm totally off on this, but the dad seems like he's in his late 20s. He seems very young.
He is young, and he's mean.
Yeah.
There's another kid.
He seems very immature.
Where his son is falling asleep, and then he takes a big old air horn, or he punched. Oh, I remember what it was. Oh my God, this is what he did, man. And the video was called "Waterboarding My Son." He's 7 years old. He's a little boy, little boy. I don't know if he's 6, 7, 8. You know what I'm talking about out there. Your parents out there, 6, 7, 8. They're little boys, little beautiful boys. And he's sitting there, and he's falling asleep watching his cartoons or whatever. And he's a little boy watching cartoons. He falls asleep, which is what kids do. And the dad, it's ass wipe, gets a rag that's soaking wet with water, and puts it on his son's face while he's asleep. And his son wakes up freaking out, thinking that he's drowning. And he thinks this is funny. And then his son says, I wasn't asleep, Daddy. I wasn't asleep. And then he takes a big old bullhorn and says, you were asleep, yelling it in his face. What a sick person. And the mother was sitting there watching it, dude. They are both disgusting people.
Not only were they just sitting there and allowing this behavior to go on, they filmed the behavior and put it on the internet for the entire world to see.
And they're going to keep seeing it too.
And they were trying to make money off of it.
Those kids are they're going to be harassed. This is terrible for their whole lives. Luckily, YouTube pulled it down, by the way. Mm-hmm. And that's another thing too. How in the hell did those videos get up there? And if you're watching them, you're part of that problem. How in those videos get up there? And how in the hell, I forgot to insert that. How in those videos get up there, and then our videos get pulled down for playing some stupid piece of music that has copyright on it, and that crap gets on there.
That's a very good point. That is a very good point.
You got guys killing people on Facebook, and they're beating it, and we get pulled off.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's like all these horrible things happen on the Facebook Live, and those videos stay up there for like 24 hours. Yeah. We play like 10 seconds of a copyrighted song.
Green onions. Wow. And 10 seconds of green onions, and we're the bad guys.
Okay, well, anyway, that's not the point of what we were talking about.
I forgot what we were talking about. What were we talking about?
Well, you were sort of pointing out that the issue is the people that watch these videos.
Yes.
And I would say, unfortunately, they're sort of just like the newest form of reality TV.
I know. That's even the mother's justification was, well, this is all just acting, and it was a show. It was just a bad show. No, it's not acting. No. Hell no, it's not acting. You have a extremely as a matter of fact, you know what?
But really, I mean, people spend all day watching reality TV shows about dysfunctional families. I mean,
it's not reality. I mean, in reality,
it
yes,
is reality.
There are dysfunctional families. Yes, that is part of reality. But the reality is that those are very few, and the reality is that most people are not like that.
I don't know. I think that every family has their own dysfunction. I think it's sort of weird when they broadcast
is it your family too? Is Uncle Tom the weirdo? He's always trying to grab everybody. Is that him too? You?
Uncle Tom.
Yeah. What's your weirdo's name? Your weird family member. Ben. 218-5726.
No, but I really do. I think that this sort of is just the latest form of reality TV, and I think of all the sort of horrible reality TV shows that are going on nowadays. I mean, I think of like Honey Boo Boo. Do you remember that reality TV show? I mean, that is what people want to see. They want to see dysfunction. They want to see.
Why is that? Is it because it makes us feel better? It makes us feel more. It makes us feel closer to normal. Because I tell you what, dude, I think if people would.
Dude, to be perfectly honest, and this is sort of a sad answer, it's because it's entertaining. I mean, I don't personally enjoy it, but I know other people that do. When I was younger, I watched Jersey Shore, and if that show isn't about just nothing but dysfunction, I don't know what is.
I never watched it. I'd rather listen to The Wind or something. I don't know.
I mean,
I'd rather
but you
listen
think
to My
of
Heartbeat.
a show like Survivor, that's an incredibly popular show. Isn't that show sort of just about bullying and pressuring people to leave the island?
I mean,
and stuff?
I've never seen it. Maybe I've seen it, but yeah, I understand
like
what it's
emotional
about.
manipulation and stuff.
Manipulation, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think that these YouTube videos, they are sort of just a natural progression of where reality TV has taken us.
I guess this is probably a corrective part of the curve line, right, of the bell curve. Because, listen, anytime a new technology comes out like this, we got our ups and we got our downs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And people are going to screw up, boy, because that's just the way. I mean, this happens when we're small. We crash while we ride a bike. We do it lots of times till we get the hang of it. It doesn't stop. I mean, even when you're an adult and you got this new technology, people are going to screw up.
Well, yeah, and I think
hopefully this will stop. Hopefully Facebook and YouTube will find a way to keep this stuff from
what you have now is basically the ability for people. They don't need many resources. They can film something, put it online for the entire world to see. When that becomes available, people are going to film inappropriate things. It's going to inspire them to do things that they shouldn't be doing, and like you say, you're going to have to address that at some point.
Yeah. 4719. Okay, so that's one thing that got me upset, Ben. And so you were talking about Comey, right? Or Billy was talking about Comey.
Mm-hmm.
KOMY 1340 is you can download the app for free. That's our sister station, KOMY and KSCF. He was talking about FBI Director Comey.
Yes,
right,
James Comey.
Okay, and
Jimmy.
I heard him talking about saying, "Oh, I'm slightly sickened by the thought that I could have." And that's not word for word, but that I could have affected the election makes me sick, slightly sick.
Well, yeah, he definitely shouldn't be doing that.
Right, and then
should be leaving that to Russia.
So you know what made me kind of slightly sick was hearing Hillary Clinton. I don't know if this is it or not. She's going to say something. Basically, was, here I was on my way to winning the White House, and then this happened. And I'm thinking that is so why you lost. Right, because you take things for granted. Yeah, hey, I was driving down my way down to the White House. They had it all ready for me. You remember how she had that glass ceiling there because she was supposed to win? And guess what? We're not going to need that. Wow, dude. I just can't believe the attitude of somebody like that. Hey, that was supposed to be my seat. You went in there and screwed it up by doing that. You took what was rightfully mine. No, that's not rightfully yours. It's not rightfully anybody's. You got to work for that. You got to earn it. You got to work the American people. Nobody is owed that seat. This is not the Watsonville City Council where you wait and then you get to be mayor. This is not the way it works. You want to win the White House, you go out there and you win the White House. You are not next to be on the throne. That's not the way this works. And that is the attitude I think that permeated from her, and I think that's a big reason why she lost. There's lots of reasons why she lost, but that's one, I think.
I think, to be fair, if you had come as close as she has come to being president I think twice now, you'd probably be a little bit bitter.
Oh, I got it here. It is queued up pretty close. You want to hear it and then see if I'm just got my panties all tied up in
I
the
just
wad?
want to say, I mean, this woman has suffered some pretty devastating losses. So I can sort of understand
Really?
why she would be bitter.
No, to Obama, right? The first one.
Well, Obama, and then to lose to Trump in what was a huge upset.
Which one do you think stung more?
Oh, definitely Trump.
Think so?
Yeah.
Yeesh.
Well, because she was closer. She was the Democratic nominee. She was favored going into, like, the last. I mean, she was favored going right up into the election. She was favored to win it. So yeah, I mean, talk about a devastating loss. I can understand why she'd be a little bit bitter. About this comment about her saying, "Oh, you know, I would have won if the election was held on this day." I think basically what she's saying might be true, but I think the bigger point is, so what? The election wasn't held on that day, and you lost. So what's the point of bringing that up?
4791080. So should I not play it? Is that what you're saying, Ben? Or
No,
what?
go ahead.
Okay.
We gotta do something, right?
Well, yeah, we gotta do something. We got a few more minutes here. We also have some local stories. Let's see. I think, you know what? We might have got to all the local stories. I think we got them all.
There weren't a whole lot of local news today. I think one story we might not have covered is there is a missing Santa Cruz man.
Really? Where's he at?
All right, let me see if I can bring this up.
Where is he?
He went missing. He was last seen by Natural Bridges, if I remember correctly.
Oh, I have some more local stories. Wait, go ahead and do that. Rabbits were rescued from a Salinas home, Ben. This is kind of not so cool. I think I should go with the Hillary Clinton story.
Well, it's good that the rabbits were rescued because
41
now
of them
they're
were,
okay.
but 16 of them were not. They found them.
Well, they'll be in a better place now.
Okay,
we
they're in
can
rabbit
focus
heaven.
on the positives.
They're in rabbit heaven, right, Ben? Rabbits go to heaven.
Well,
right?
yeah, the 16 that didn't make it, or hopefully.
And the U.S. tests another intercontinental ballistic missile. This was launched from, was this Vandenberg Air Force Base? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ay, ay, ay. It delivered a single reentry vehicle to target about to a target about 4,200 miles away. So we can hit whatever we want at 4,200 miles away. 4,200.
Yeah,
42.
you hear that, Kim?
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Hillary Clinton.
So really,
okay.
Oh,
yes, go ahead.
All right,
I don't
no,
wanna
go ahead.
No,
Or
I
do
don't
you
want
me
to play it. No, I don't want to sound like a jerk.
So a 21-year-old Santa Cruz man remains missing since he was last seen near Natural Bridges State Park almost 2 weeks ago now.
Oh man,
so
that's
yeah,
not
this
good.
according to Santa Cruz Police Department. Jonah Hinsman is his name. He was last seen at the end of Westcliff Drive near the park on April 19th. Hinman, yeah, Hinman, Hinman, I'm assuming that's how you say his name, is 5 feet tall, or 5'10", excuse me. So yeah, he's 5'10", weighs 135 pounds, has brown hair and a blonde ponytail, which doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it kind of doesn't, but
Isn't
who knows? Nowadays,
isn't your ponytail usually the color of your hair?
Not nowadays, dudes. Who knows?
Yeah, Hinman has blue eyes and wears glasses. So yeah, if you have any
How old is he?
information, 21 years old.
Okay.
And if you have any information, if you've seen him or you might have any idea where he is, I have a couple numbers.
Okay.
It looks like you can call the Santa Cruz PD investigations, 831-420. 831-420-5820.
Okay.
So that is the investigations line again, 831-420-5820. Or there's an anonymous tip line.
Oh.
That is also 831-420. So, just remember your two favorite numbers, 831 and 420, and you got that down. The anonymous tip line, though, is 5995.
5995. Okay.
So 831-420-5820 and 831-420-5995.
All right, sounds good. Let's see. Let's take a listen to what Hillary Clinton had to say.
Disappointed, and some are angry. And some say, could it have been different? Could the campaign have been better? Could you have had a better rationale? He had one message, your opponent,
Could you have
and it
tried
was a successful
campaigning in
message.
Michigan
Make America
or Wisconsin?
great again. And where was your message? Do you take any personal responsibility?
Oh, of course. I take absolute personal responsibility. I was the candidate. I was the person who was on the ballot. And I am very aware of, the challenges, the problems, the, shortfalls that we had. Again, I will write all this out for you. But I will say this. I've been in a lot of campaigns, and I'm very proud of the campaign we ran, and I'm very proud of the staff and the volunteers and the people who are out there day after
479-1080, Ben. So maybe I just got upset over a whole bunch of nothing.
I don't think that was the part that you meant to play.
DM at
but
KSU.com.
You know what? I will admit, when I saw some of the highlights from that speech, I felt that was something that she didn't. It didn't seem like she was really taking personal responsibility for the loss. That she was really blaming other people.
Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter. We're out of here, Ben. KSEO Santa Cruz, CBS News up next.
CBS News, I'm Pam Coulter. House Republicans are poised to make good on their promise to repeal Obamacare. A vote is planned tomorrow, and Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy said they have the votes to pass it. Its prospects got a boost when Republicans Billy Long and Fred Upton secured $8 billion to help pay for people with pre-existing conditions.
With this addition that we brought to the president and sold him on in over an hour meeting in here with him, we're both yeses on the bill.
Political analyst Larry Sabato says it's sure to be an issue in the next election.
Once you vote for something, whether it becomes law or not, you own it.